Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Evolution from Mushrooms. Chapter 101. It seems that it's time to solve the mutant krill. Chen Mo made a decision. But the more troublesome thing is that he can't get into the water. Strictly speaking, he has no fighting power in the water. Even if chloroplasts are evolved, it is only said to be able to float and grow on the sea. Continuous release of venom. This is a feasible method. His poison is much more powerful than the white phosphorus bomb, and it has genetic restraint. It should not be too simple to target the poisonous mutant krill. But in that case, humans will be frightened, and they may immediately regard him as the next krill. Chen Mo doesn't intend to be exposed to human sight, especially the appearance of alien spaceships, which strengthens his idea. It seems that this matter is not suitable for me to act directly. I need to find some helpers. Chen Mo turned his gaze and came to the island of Hawaii. Soon, a group of killer whales were called. The leading killer whale was over 100 meters long, with sharp bony spurs, and even a ramming horn. The killer whale heads to the shore, exuding awareness. Great and holy will, you seek us. They heard an infrasound shouting in their language from hundreds of nautical miles away. This is a call from the world. Find the big guy with the big ice floe floating on his back and bring him here. Chen Mo ordered lightly. This is most likely a mutant blue whale. When Chen Mo was browsing Lu Ru's computer before, I saw this guy's information. It has to be said that this blue whale is a biological miracle. Its volume seems to have broken some kind of limit. Just like some dinosaurs before, they can keep growing up before they die. This is why there are hundreds of meters long dinosaurs. There is no limit to their bones, and they are constantly growing throughout their lives. It is not the case with modern organisms. Basically, after adulthood, this growth is locked by genes. Even if there is a mutation bonus, the various creatures are not said to be outrageously large. But this blue whale was an accident. Its body length has exceeded 1,000 meters. It's easy to set off a tsunami. What's even more exaggerated is that it has mutated the ability to release cold, which is just the opposite of Miss Heisey's flame. So this blue whale always carries an iceberg on its back. Become a moving iceberg by humans. Fortunately, the blue whale has a gentle personality and never actively attacks humans, and the blue whale has a high IQ. Even more so after the mutation. It is very clear what can be messed with and what cannot be messed with. For humans, it has always been at arm's length. On this day, the mutated blue whale swims in the ocean. As long as it swims, it can get enough food. Suddenly, it noticed several little guys appearing beside him. It was a distant relative, the round killer whale. If it was such a terrifying creature before, it would be very vigilant. Just like when an elephant sees a pack of wolves, it will be extremely vigilant. If there is a chance, the pack of wolves will not be afraid of creatures bigger than themselves. The same goes for killer whales. But now, it is not afraid of these guys. Who made them look bigger than last time, but in his eyes, they were still small and inconspicuous. It only needs a tumbling, and the turbulent seawater can stun these guys. Not to mention his uncanny abilities. Hello, big guy. The orca leader exudes awareness and makes friendly purrs. Of course the mutated blue whale couldn't understand, and he didn't want to feel the emotion. Although he could do it, the memory of being frightened by killer whales made him very unhappy. I don't intend to pay attention to it. The leader of the killer whale was not angry, but slowly opened his mouth, and there was a spherical mushroom attached to its mouth. Through this, it is possible to communicate with any species. Let them talk directly to the world. This method, it has been tried many times. As long as they are peaceful creatures, they will be happy to communicate with the world. After all, that is an ocean-like, incomparably vast consciousness. The killer whale leader sighed. Sure enough, after a while, the mutant blue whale changed his mind. It turned its incomparably huge body, staring at the killer whale with a pair of eyes. It was attracted by the thing in the mouth of this little guy. That thing was sending out some strange thoughts. And be able to talk to it. It is very interested in this voice, and admires the wisdom of the other party, as well as the power as broad as the ocean. Lead the way. It let out a low growl. The tumbling water spray directly sent the killer whale flying for a distance. What a big, impolite fellow. The killer whale leader complained a few words, turned around and swam to Hawaii Island. Turned. Look, the iceberg turned. The soldiers who were in charge of staring at the behemoth through satellites immediately sounded the alarm. Soon, special personnel will come. Strange, it has been cruising around here for a week, why is it suddenly ready to leave? Send someone to see if the position of the fish has changed. It went to the middle of the ocean, in the tropics, let me see. Soon someone took out a map, it's Hawaii Island. The speed is very fast, twice as fast as the fastest warship. God, the speed of 200 knots is really terrifying. 963 speedboats are not so fast. What strength the big man must have. Yeah, let me go, a dozen aircraft carriers are as big as they are, and they can run so fast. I don't know what they eat, but they can be so powerful. The soldiers talked a lot. The changes here were quickly reported to Lu. Every powerful mutant beast, even if it is not killed, someone will pay special attention to their movements. After all, even if such a behemoth is not malicious, it has to be doubled. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that there is no certainty of killing the blue whale with one blow, humans have already done it. But with such a huge reminder, there is no thick iceberg covering it, and the use of nuclear bombs can kill the opponent. But what if the other party dives into the water? The attack did not kill, but irritated the opponent, which was very troublesome. So humans simply keep each other. Of course, the operation of Chenmo is indispensable. No, it is obviously beneficial to keep the other party. It won't come in handy at this time. The mutated blue whale galloped along with the group of killer whales, and finally, it felt the huge breath. World, it murmured. Is this the powerful existence called the world? It is a little puzzled. This island is different from others, this one can talk. Self-awareness, such a high-end idea, blue whale can't think about it yet. As long as he is willing to come, Chenmo has an attitude of mutual benefit. After all, they are just ordinary animals. Even if they are mutated, compared with humans, they are as pure as a piece of paper. Soon, the mutated blue whale turned around again. It acquired some strange powers, and these powers spread and spread in its body. Strange, is it too hot here? Or it's just here to see the island? The pilot muttered a few words strangely. The helicopter that had already set off received another order and was called back. Because the blue whale went in another direction. It's hard to say, anything is possible these days, maybe it just wants to talk to the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. The co-pilot said with an open mind. Your idea is good, I think it can be included in the report to Professor Lu, so that people will appreciate you. Get out. Through the perspective of the two pilots, Chenmo can see the entire Hawaiian island, which is indeed extremely beautiful, especially when there is a receding iceberg next to it. On one side is the sunny and sandy coast, and on the other side is the snow-white iceberg that is steaming white. This incomparably magical picture, in this increasingly fantastical world, does not seem so astonishing. And he is in control of it all. This increasingly fantastic world will soon become his back garden. The mutated blue whale went all the way north, heading for the North Pole. Its degree of variation is very high, and it is not afraid of cold, and krill is the main food of blue whales. A mutant blue whale. Lu picked up the phone, a bold idea flashed through her mind. Where is the blue whale now, isn't it coming here? At this time, everyone is on their way to the North Pole. Only the last leg of the journey remains. In front of this section of the road, there will be a strait, which is the only way to the North Pole. If the blue whale wants to pass, it must pass through the strait. If the blue whale is really going to the Antarctic, then this is the only way to go. Aside, a local scientist laughed. We can go and observe it. The scenery here is very good, and what if the largest animal in the world really walks here? 11. Of course, he was just joking. By the way, he invites everyone, if you are interested, you can go to a village next to the strait. This is his country, and it would be great if a large number of top scientists could be invited here. It can help your country to advertise. Originally, he just mentioned it casually, and the blue whale was just an excuse, mainly the village. Unexpectedly, Ruo actually agreed. Then let's wait here. Everyone was stunned. Look at her. Wait what? Wait for that blue whale. Lu said seriously. Everyone was even more confused. Are you really waiting? Even the scientists who sent out the invitation felt that it was outrageous. Is this reason too outrageous? Just when everyone was hesitating. Professor Liu, the blue whale is really coming this way. The latest information has been sent. Everyone felt even more outrageous. Is it really possible to wait for the blue whale here? You know, this is currently the largest mutated biomass in the world. Chen Mo didn't notice Lu Ru's situation, otherwise, he would be taken aback, and then check Lu Ru's thoughts. At this moment, he doesn't have that leisure time. After dispatching the blue whale, he began to continue collecting mutated plants. Half a day later, the blue whale arrived at the strait amidst everyone's surprised eyes. Boom! The huge body passed through the narrow strait, stirring up huge waves. Really here, Lu Ru was extremely excited in her heart. Get on the helicopter. We follow it. She knows where the island that can talk to the world is. This gigantic blue whale came from there. It must have received an order from the world to come here to settle the imbalance factor. Lu Ru forgot herself, ignored the danger, and stood excitedly on the edge of the strait. All I can think about is, has this huge sea monster talked to the world? Is it connected to the will of the world at this moment? Professor Liu, be careful. The many scientists behind did not have the ability to control objects through the air. They were all wet by the seawater lifted up, and they were all shivering from the cold at the moment. They didn't dare to stand in front of them, they might be blown down by a gust of wind. As for Chen Mo, his research has reached the final stage. Open black lens bracket evolution clue close black lens bracket, photosynthesis. Based on a large number of plant genetic maps, you have analyzed a new cell structure, chloroplast, which will improve your cell function and activate chloroplasts. Your cells will change their structure and gain the ability to absorb sunlight, which will be extremely greatly expand your living range, and your nutrient intake ability will also be greatly enhanced, your adaptability +20, risk +5, and nutrient absorption efficiency +1. Looking at the project that has far exceeded 100% research progress, Chen Mo whispered. Activate the chloroplast structure immediately. In an instant, the blue whale, which was advancing at high speed, opened its mouth. Boom! The raging waters are swallowed by whales. At the same time, the violently opened mouth also caused the wind and waves to howl, rushing into its mouth. In an instant, there was a strong wind, and Lu Ru, who was standing on the edge of the strait, was almost sucked down without checking. The blue whale sucked enough water, and mycelium quickly spread in its huge mouth. This is the capacity of progenitor cells. The cells controlled by Chen Mo can naturally allow it to carry the cells that can produce mushrooms. Directly use the nutrients in the blue whale to reproduce the first batch of spores with chloroplasts. For the incomparably huge blue whale, this little bit of lost energy is not worth mentioning. There was a muffled bang bang bang. The seawater is full of green spore powder. Immediately afterwards, the mutated blue whale stirred the seawater in its mouth, stirring them evenly. Next, it's spraying. Woo woo woo. With melodious roars, it spurts out the green seawater from the nostrils on the top of its head. With a body of thousands of meters, how powerful is the lungs? In short, everyone by the strait was stunned. A terrifying water column rose into the sky. Hundreds of tons of water mixed with spores reached an altitude of more than 5,000 meters. This time, the blue whale was also full of breath, and even the iceberg on its back was shattered by it. It is conceivable that all the energy of breastfeeding was exhausted. Good. So high. My God, it's still a green water column. The scientists were all shocked. Lu Ru knew that this blue whale must be miraculous, but she never expected that it would be so strange. The sprayed water column reaches the height of 10,000 meters. My God, this is the tallest fountain I've ever seen in my life. With the help of the mutated blue whale, the world's largest giant, sprayer, Chen Mo killed 2 birds with 1 stone, sending the spores into the sky at one time, and at the same time, covering hundreds of thousands of nautical miles in an instant. Even Chen Mo was slightly surprised by this height. He had expected only about 5,000–6,000 meters. I didn't expect the blue whale to hold its breath and bang hard, and its power increased so much. As expected of the biggest guy in the world. Spray directly to the height of 10,000 meters. The porous structure that spores have modified for a long time finally has a place for it. They can hang around here for a long time. Some can even be suspended in the clouds, and spread all over the world with the rain. Yes, in people's imagination, a nuclear war is the radioactive dust that is set off, spreads in the clouds, and spreads to the whole world with the rain. Make the whole world polluted. Hee. Is this theory correct? Let me verify it. Chen Mo whispered, then focused his gaze on a small spore. Now with the strong consciousness, even on a spore, Chen Mo's vision is very clear. Can be observed in detail. In order to reduce the weight, the spore hardly carries any nutrients inside, and the multi-cavity structure makes it very light, just like the bones of a bird. Highest intensity with lightest weight. The spores are green, and above the clouds at an altitude of 10,000 meters, the light is extremely intense, and the strong ultraviolet rays make ordinary plants lose their growth soon. At this moment, the spores encountered this problem. The highest spore rushed to an altitude of 15,000 meters, where the atmosphere is extremely cellular, but unfortunately, under this environment, it is rapidly drying up and losing its activity. It's not that I can't stand the low temperature and dryness here, but because the ultraviolet rays are too strong. That's something I haven't considered. Chen Mo used the height of the spores to look up at the whole Earth from such a height for the first time. At this time, the whole world has revealed a trace of its true appearance. The edge of the Earth is slightly curved. This planet named Terra is full of vitality at the moment. New changes are brewing. Looking up at the sky, the entire sky is extremely bright at this time, but beyond the bright boundary, the darkness of consciousness can already be vaguely seen. It's the dark, icy darkness beyond the planet's atmosphere. The universe is right in front of you. Chen Mo had an urge to rush out. But his vision gradually darkened. This extremely lucky spore, which was blown up by the wind to an altitude of nearly 20,000 meters, died. However, at an altitude of about 10,000 meters, there are still many surviving spores in the clouds. These are still continuing their mission and testing various space environments. Absorbing sunlight can provide them with nutrients and keep them alive for a long time. Until one day the nutrients are exhausted, or it rains and falls to the ground. After watching the sky, Chen Mo turned his gaze to the sea. At this time, those spores that were not blown to such a height have already fallen down one after another, spreading in a radius of tens of millions of sea miles. Within the nearest tens of thousands of meters, it started to rain. Most of the water falls within this range. It's raining. What a magical scene. Excellent, now I understand why the blue whale has the name sea dragon. This is simply a real dragon. Can rain. Still such a large area of rainfall. The world is getting more and more strange. Do you think that whales will really fly in the future, riding the clouds and fog, just like the coon in ancient mythology? Even if you regard science as your own belief, you can't help but think of it this way. The scene in front of him deeply shocked his heart. The most shocking one was Lu Ru. She was so excited that her whole body was trembling slightly. Because she knows part of the inside story. Is this the creature the world found? It's so powerful, as expected. Am I not being responded to because I am too weak? There seems to be something in this rainwater. A scientist took out a magnifying glass and observed it carefully. Some green bauble. It seems that the green fountain just now was made by this little thing. It's probably some kind of seaweed. They don't create an ecological cycle in the whale, do they? A scientist asked curiously. Among the peers, the one who knows this best is naturally Lu Ru. Lu Ru was asked several times before she came back to her senses. This blue whale is so huge, Kai, his body can be regarded as a small lake, and even if it forms a strange ecosystem inside, I wouldn't be surprised. Hearing Lu Ru's explanation, everyone was even more amazed immediately, and couldn't help thinking, if this whale is 10 times bigger, it will be able to raise fish in its belly. Everyone envies. How powerful should such a creature be? At this moment, everyone felt their own insignificance. You say these creatures are so powerful, and their intelligence continues to increase, how should we get along with them? Someone asked this question. For a while, everyone fell into deep thought. On the contrary, Lu Ru seemed much more relaxed. Let them join the Holy Alliance of Terra, she said. Everyone couldn't help but be surprised. This is a union of countries all over the world, led by the country of the river crab. Let animals join. In the past, this would definitely be considered crazy. But when Lu Ru made this suggestion suddenly, everyone was not particularly surprised. If you imagine carefully, the emergence of intelligent species seems to be unstoppable. Blocking is worse than sparseness. This is the consistent wisdom of the river and crab country. It is only necessary to kill some rare group intelligent creatures, and the strength of individuals is just for human use. Whales are so powerful, will we be inferior to humans? We will not be limited to this small ball. When we leave here, everyone will be fellow villagers on Terra. Which species are they divided into? Lu Ru's words also came out of feeling. The more you know, the more you will be in awe. Many scientists looked at Lu Ru with admiration, and at the same time, their hearts were inexplicably excited. Yes, with the emergence of psychic power, human abilities are constantly improving. Intelligence has increased by an average of about 10 points. The improvement of psychers is even more terrifying. Don't underestimate the intelligence of only 10 points, this is the average. In addition to intelligence and physical fitness, some people's physical fitness can also move in space with today's crude space equipment. Even, under the transformation of the ancestor cells, it is already considered a little Superman. Many people awakened by Lu Ru were in a daze. A new era, after experiencing a disaster, suddenly appeared like this. We're just so confused, we're entering a new era. Chen Mo was at the side, and couldn't help casting admiring glances at Lu Ru. He didn't control Lu Ru from saying that. All of this stems from her true thoughts. This woman has a good eye. This idea also coincides with what Chen Mo meant. The heaven and earth are changing, that is the way of nature, there is nothing he can do about it. But now, a new wave will be driven by him and led by him. Now that he has started to control the ocean, the next step is naturally to look at the sky. Many scientists sighed with emotion, then got on the helicopter and continued the mission. They became more and more curious, what is this giant monster going to do? Helicopters are clearly visible from the air. I saw the mutant blue whale swimming towards the sea area of the mutant krill. It's going to eat those krills. Suddenly, a scientist said excitedly. Professor Lu, you are really judged by God. We follow this blue whale, and we are about to witness a miraculous scene. Lu Ru sat in front, with a slight twitch at the corner of her mouth. Not a miracle, but the peace of nature. Anyone who dares to challenge this balance will be punished. Everyone looked down in shock, and the blue whale opened its mouth. Then start to swallow. The waters of the whole sea are moving. It's like a vortex suddenly appeared. The blue whale is very smart. He swallows a large area of krill in one gulp, and then squeezes the seawater out of his mouth. There are a large number of tentacles like a filter mesh, and the water can flow out, but the krill can't. At this moment, he is the world's largest trawl net. It is still the kind that the smallest fish will not be spared, the cutting off children and grandchildren net. The krill was immediately stimulated so much, and immediately began to release air conditioning. Suddenly, the entire sea area was filled with white mist, like an open refrigerator. Hiss! What a terrifying temperature! -150 degrees. Still dropping. The whole sea is going to be frozen. The helicopter didn't dare to get closer, and everyone took out their binoculars to observe from a distance. At the same time, someone pulled out a video camera. This amazing scene will soon be spread on the internet. Here's a stunning image of a blue whale singling out a species. But some scientists are concerned. Should we drive the blue whale away? It devours one side like this and disperses all the krills that have gathered together. If the krills become dozens of groups, then we will be finished. Much harder to clean. Yeah, it makes sense. There was also a biologist with a bad face. It is certainly a good thing that the blue whale will eat this, but the problem is that it is afraid that it will eat it a few times and it will not be clean. And this mutant blue whale just found this one, how could it guard the krill here every day? Now because of their own racial characteristics, the krill likes to gather together, which is easy to handle, but when the time comes to disperse, it will be a real disaster. We call the fighters over now, it's too late. Quote, Lu Ru said calmly, and she was also a little worried. This blue whale is so terrifying, but it belongs to the cannon to fight mosquitoes. And the helicopter they took was only an investigation helicopter. Although it also had weapons, it was only for self-defense. In case this monster is angered, a sneeze may spray down the slow-moving helicopter. In the sea, Chen Mo is now in the perspective of variation blue. Excited, he directly ordered himself, using his consciousness to order this giant to act. This is much more enjoyable than manipulating a chariot. Just imagine, a terrifying monster with a length of 1,000 meters can form a vortex on the sea surface with one mouth, and hundreds of millions of mutated krills will be swallowed in an instant. As for the low temperature produced by the krill, it's just a tickle. This kind of low temperature can be produced by blue whales themselves. With one bite, the krills within a few hundred square meters were completely emptied. It's cleaner than a vacuum cleaner. The mutant blue whale likes this kind of delicacy very much. Although he has become much stronger, the type of food he likes to eat remains the same. Krill is its favorite. At this moment, the blue whale exudes a comfortable thought. If it's all this kind of beauty, I don't mind listening to the words of this strong will every day. Woo! There was a very loud whistle. The blue whale exuded consciousness and said to Chen Mo, "World, can I keep some of this dried shrimp? I want to eat it next time. I feel warm and comfortable after eating it." Chen Mo couldn't help but ordered the blue whale to continue to swallow, and replied, "This one doesn't work, you have to eat them all, there is no one left, but I can recommend better ones for you. Have you seen the little thing looking over there?" "You mean humans?" No, they have fire-breathing sticks, they're so powerful, I can't beat them, and they smell bad, they should be very bad." Blue whale's answer was very sincere, but it was dangerous and not tasty. Their concept is very simple: delicious, not tasty; dangerous, not dangerous, basically a world of binary opposites, good is good, bad is bad. Hee. Chen Mo smiled and stopped talking. Waiting for the blue whale to naturally know what he is referring to, it is afraid that it will be so happy that it doesn't want to leave at all. Keep devouring. After a while, Chen Mo carefully observed his surroundings, frowning slightly. Some krills were frightened and began to swim further away. Although they moved slowly, and the cold air released by themselves made the seawater freeze, it became an obstacle for them to escape. But even so, they are still slowly spreading around. It won't work like this, it would be troublesome to leak one. Chen Mo said to himself. He didn't want the blue whale to clean up every week, although the blue whale should not mind at all. And some of the krills go to the depths, and it's hard for me to kill every single one of them, unless, let them come and die on their own. Chen Mo immediately unfolded the gene tree. It's time to take out your original weapon and use it. There are only useless people, absolutely no useless abilities. Open black lens bracket phantom close black lens bracket appear. Chen Mo began to mobilize the progenitor cells to secrete hallucinogens. It is secreted directly from the skin of the blue whale and discharged directly into the seawater. This dosage is negligible for blue whales, but for krills, it is definitely the maximum amount of food. So, as the blue whale rolled a few times, more hallucinogens were secreted directly as saliva in the mouth of the blue whale, and a large amount of hallucinogens began to spread between the seawater inhalation and spitting. All the krills started to freeze up, as if they were frozen, waiting for the blue whale to eat. But the temperature here is too low, the effect of the hallucinogen is affected, and the diffusion speed is not fast enough. Moreover, the mutated krill is mutated anyway, and the effect of this hallucinogen is still not strong enough. Without hesitation, Chen Mo immediately began to reorganize and evolve. Warning: you are trying to use evolution points to recombine and evolve the psychedelic gene, which may increase the effect of hallucinogens, increase the ability to diffuse, and slightly increase nutrient consumption. 99% probability. It is worth noting, yes, this operation may lead to unknown consequences. Please choose carefully. Chen Mo did not hesitate, and directly evolved the hallucinogenic recombination to the psychedelic type 5. Information: you have obtained the Phantom 5 feet gene, which supports you to secrete more powerful hallucinogens, effects including but not limited to addiction, hallucinations, nerve paralysis, functional shock and nerve center stimulation, excitement, etc. At the same time, the hallucinogen can be locally adjusted according to the situation and is suitable for the current environment. Gain adaptability plus 0.1, dangerous plus 0.5. There are a lot of hallucinogenic substances in nature. Chen Mo has acquired a lot of knowledge in this area, and he has extremely rich experience in using drugs on various animals. He's a seasoned druggist. Therefore, recombination evolution to type 5 does not cost extra evolution points. Activate magic type 5 feet immediately. With Chen Mo's thought, the progenitor cells parasitic in the body of the mutant blue whale began to change. start secreting this much more powerful hallucinogen. This hallucinogen, Chen-mo also made adjustments to the current environment and the genes of the mutated krill. For mutant krill, it is a special drug. Then, a strange scene appeared. The slow-moving mutated krill suddenly boiled. It began to surge in one direction at a much faster speed than usual, the large mouth of the mutated blue whale several hundred meters away. This scene was faithfully recorded by the helicopter in the sky. The scientists among them were all stunned. From their point of view, it is much more spectacular. The entire sponge in between, flashing with silver light, converged into a river on the sea surface, flowing into the mouth of the mutated blue whale. Even, the mouth of the mutated blue whale was tired and closed, and the water pushed the mutated krill away. Those mutated krills became even crazier, as if they were extremely angry because they didn't enter the big mouth. They used all their strength to suck, and pulled dozens of pairs of little feet, trying to swim towards the giant mouth. Because, there is the source of hallucinogens, where the concentration of hallucinogens is the highest. This hallucinogen is fatally attractive to mutated krill. As long as they absorb a little bit of this taste, the hallucinogen will act on their nervous system, making them extremely excited, and then overdraw the energy in the body regardless of the situation, in order to chase and obtain more hallucinogens. They are like moths to a flame. If there is light, they must pass, and it doesn't matter if they die later. God, my eyes are not blurred, what did I see? Have the brains of these mutated krills been mutated? Is this the special ability of the mutant blue whale? This is too scary, let the food go directly into your mouth. If we hadn't seen this scene, no one would really believe it. Lu Ru also said with emotion. So amazing. At this moment, she really had the urge to jump down and observe carefully. But she knew that it was too dangerous. This big guy was crushed like a mountain. It may not have any malicious intentions, but with just a slight movement, it crushed herself to death. The mutated blue whale itself also became curious. World, my mouth is so tired and it hurts, can I move it? He knew that this was the skill of the world, so he didn't dare to move, for fear that if he moved, the delicious food would run in by himself. Chen-mo made this super big guy laugh. Don't worry, you will have this ability in the future, as long as you say, Divine Will, silently before eating food, you will activate this ability. Chen-mo said very maliciously. After all, it is the ability he gave, asking the other party to pray before meals, isn't that too much? When the mutant blue whale recites this sentence silently, the nervous system will react, which will be detected by the ancestor cells connected to it, and as long as the spell is correct, they will give the corresponding answer according to the corresponding spell. Hallucinogenic ability. I'll call you Phantom Whale from now on. Chen-mo said with a smile, also gave the whale a name. At present, the ability given by him, the whale's is not the strongest, but in the environment of the sea, its ability is definitely the most terrifying in performance. He only needs to open his mouth to spit out the seawater, and he doesn't even need to do anything at all. As long as he stays quietly in the seawater, the hallucinogen secreted by his body will continue to spread. The hallucinogen can persist for up to a day before its effects gradually wear off. During this time, the hallucinogen can diffuse over tens of thousands of meters. If it is located in the upstream, it can pollute an entire sea area. It can be said that in the ocean, around the phantom whale, as long as he wants to, he can expand a phantom realm at least 1 meter above. The creatures that enter it will all be attracted by him, and then involuntarily follow the taste of hallucinogens, find the source all the way, and then swim into the mouth of the phantom whale in a daze. What's even more frightening is that this hallucinogen can only rely on resistance to resist in water, and it can't be blocked at all. Because any creature in the sea must be in contact with seawater, and even almost occasionally swallows seawater to breathe. Therefore, the name Phantom Whale is worthy of its name. With Chen-mo's blessing, Magic Whale is an invincible existence in the ocean. Of course, there are also ancestor cells in the body, which can be immune to this hallucinogen to a certain extent, and if the ancestor cells also activate some resistance functions, they can even be completely immune to this hallucinogen. Hehe, good. I will have a name in the future, my name is Magic Whale. The phantom whale exudes a happy consciousness. Chen-mo's mind moved again to instill some knowledge into the whale. The magic whale's consciousness is quite large, and with Ali's experience last time, this time it didn't make the magic whale feel too uncomfortable. After being in a trance for a while, magic whale couldn't help but respect Chenmo even more. It shouldn't be said to be incomparable awe mixed with reverence. The more you know, the more humble you will be. This applies to any intelligent being. At this moment, magic whale has already understood the meaning of I. He really has self-awareness and can think about such mysterious questions as where he came from and where he is going. Holy wool, thank you. It exudes a sense of immense respect. Chenmo smiled and readily accepted the thanks. He fully deserves this sentence of thanks. To enlighten the wisdom of the magic whale, it's just a matter of effort for him. It depends entirely on his mood, but for the magic whale, this definitely means the end, the same whale life. At the same time, the phantom whale also understood what level human beings are in. He also wanted to understand what the divine will said, to find a way for human beings. So, after the last mutated krill managed to swim into his mouth, he closed his mouth in satisfaction, swam slowly, and swam towards the bottom of the helicopter. Be careful, fly far away. Some scientists reacted and immediately alerted the pilot. The incident of this big guy spraying out a fountain of tens of thousands of meters just now is still vivid in my mind. If it hovers over the other party, it really doesn't know how it died. But when everyone flew the helicopter a little farther, the big scary guy swam over again. Hey, it seems to be very curious about us. Yeah, look at its big eyes, it's still staring at us. It doesn't want to communicate with us, does it? This blue whale is really weird, but it really helped us a lot. Hehe, if it is willing to help clean up the mutated species in the ocean, then we will really send it out. As soon as these words came out, everyone was moved. But on this sea, there is no land around, and there is no way to communicate with the other party at close range. If it falls into the sea, this is the Arctic Ocean, and everyone will be frozen to death. Those who are not psychers can die on the spot. After all, the ancestor cells have not yet developed the ability to resist low temperature and breathe in water. Look, the ice on the whale's back has melted. Boom. With a loud noise, the phantom whale melted the ice on its back and shook off the iceberg. It used to keep ice cubes, just because I like the cool feeling. At this moment, the incomparably broad back just happened to be exposed. Woo! The phantom whale let out a low and melodious cry. It's calling us down, Lu Ru said a little excitedly. This idea is a bit crazy, but, I have to say, it's too fast. Oh my god, I'm old enough to take risks with young people like Professor Lu. I think I'm crazy. It was crazy, to land on the back of a whale. It's definitely enough for me to blow for the rest of my life. The expert with the video camera, Min, is fighting. Of course the pilots are fine, experts dare to take risks, and as soldiers, they are even more daring. And the whale below is really too intelligent. Kindness is also enough. On the deck of an aircraft carrier, you can hardly feel the shaking. The same is true on the back of a whale, which is many times larger. The helicopter descended slowly and stopped steadily. My god, it's so big. Tisk tisk, isn't this a biological aircraft carrier? Everyone trembled and walked on the back of the phantom whale. At first, they were worried that this big guy would suddenly sink. But after a while, everyone found that this worry was completely unnecessary. All the way forward, everyone came to the head of the big guy. Woo! The phantom whale uttered a cry. With such a close distance, everyone only felt their eardrums vibrate, and their whole body was buzzing. After a while of panic, everyone found out in embarrassment that they could not communicate. Everyone can only look at the most capable C+ level psyker, Lu Ru. Lu Ru also frowned slightly. Obviously, Magic Whale was a little confused, as if the other party couldn't understand what he said. You can only vaguely feel the other party's emotions with your huge consciousness. Lu Ru is like this. However, the last time she inadvertently accessed the world, consciousness flashed in her mind. Perhaps, she squatted down slowly, and touched the phantom whale's skin with her hands. The divine will connects us together. She only felt a light flash in her mind, and she could understand the other party's words. The two can communicate directly with consciousness. No, my interpretation of consciousness has become more refined. Lu Ru was shocked and froze in place. Magic Whale was very happy, you have been approved by the divine will, then we are friends. It made a buzzing sound and said with certainty. It says I am sanctioned by the divine will. Approved. In an instant, Lu Ru's mind buzzed. If there were not so many people around, she would have liked to jump up and cheer loudly. Professor Lu, what's wrong with you? The shouts from the side woke Lu Ru up from the ecstasy. How about Professor Lu, seeing you so happy, can't you really be able to communicate? At this time, Lu Ru couldn't restrain the joy in her heart at all. She nodded, I have awakened a strange ability. She pushed this matter to psionic energy. Because, the world, the divine will, this kind of thing, people will definitely think she is crazy if she talks about it. The psionic, 423, is easy to explain. Anyway, you can have any weird ability, and the ability to communicate with animals is not particularly unusual. After explaining casually to everyone, she couldn't wait to communicate with the mutant blue whale. It was so much fun interacting with another species, a blue whale that is still so powerful. My name is Lu Ru, how about you? Hello, my name is Magic Whale, do you have something delicious? Magic Whale said straight to the point. The divine will has said that although human beings are not tasty, they will make delicious ones, and this human being looks very special. The leader came up for a conversation. According to his observation, this kind of person is usually the boss of the group. Killer whales are like that. Yes, there are many, can you take us to the shore, you can have as many as you want. Lu Ru showed a fox-like smile. You prepare the helicopter to go to the strait, and I will take the blue whale there. Lu Ru made an agreement here, and immediately asked everyone to go back and make arrangements. Wait, you're going to ride the blue whale? Everyone was surprised. I want to sit too. Me too. I want to try it too. Lu Ru rolled her eyes. Old Chi, forget it, you've already said a lot of old bones, it's so cold, it's not like you haven't seen the speed of the big guy. The Arctic sea breeze is no joke. Even now, he was shivering with cold. But, I don't want to take this opportunity. Old Chi hesitated, he was getting old, but this kind of thing could happen once in a lifetime. Driving a blue whale, riding the wind and waves in a sponge, what a spectacular sight, he didn't want to miss it. The big deal is a cold. He was injected with progenitor cells anyway, so he shouldn't be able to die. Okay, Lao Chi, hurry up and get on the plane, there will be plenty of opportunities next time. Old Chi was stunned, and looked at Lu Ru, you mean there is another chance? Everyone also realized something and looked at Lu Ru excitedly. Next time you find a sunny beach, you can sit however you want. Lu Ru smiled confidently. The crowd immediately cheered, and a few people who were clamoring to take a whale ride quickly boarded the helicopter. Phantom whale, let's go. Lu Ru knelt down and pressed the blue whale's head with one hand. Woo! Amidst a huge roar, the entire sea seemed to be shaking. Looking at the continuously broken sea in front of her, Lu Ru was very excited. What a magnificent sight! This is the first time that humans have equal communication with other animals, and as she said before, this will be a wonderful turning point. Chen Mo watched all this calmly, this was his small attempt. It is best for human beings to be sensible and live in peace. This is the best model. I believe Lu Ru also understood what he meant. With the existence of phantom whales, the world's ocean problems will be solved, and it is enough to suppress all mutant creatures. At the same time, the phantom whale opened its mouth from time to time as it moved forward. Few fish could hide from the terrifying mouth of hundreds of meters, even a huge shark was swallowed in horror. But inside, it's not one step to feed. In the huge mouth of the phantom whale, there are a large number of mushrooms, which will kill the living animals first, absorb some nutrients along the way, and reproduce a large number of spores. Yes, inside the mouth of the phantom whale, it was transformed into a spore manufacturing factory by Chen Mo. Here, Chen Mo can absorb and plunder a large number of genetic maps, and reproduce spores continuously through nutrients. And the spores passed through the nostrils, and were sprayed to an altitude of 10,000 meters. They were continuously thrown into the clouds, and they continued to spread to the surrounding ocean at an extremely fast speed. I'm coming. By the side of the strait, countless people were cheering, and from a distance, everyone could already see the water column that went straight into the sky. This scene instantly shocked the whole world. Yep, pretty much all the big media got the message. All came here as fast as possible. Countless rich people and powerful people also came in a hurry. All to witness this miraculous scene. The most legendary human being, Goddess Lu Ru, riding the most legendary ocean overlord, is coming towards the strait. The picture of Lu Ru standing on top of the giant whale spread instantly throughout the world. Countless people are live broadcasting here. This is another big step for peace on Terra. We have established the Sacred Terra Alliance. Now, we have a new partner who is ready to join us. It will help us properly deal with the mutated creatures in the ocean. Lu Ru faced the camera with high spirits. These remarks immediately spread throughout the world at the fastest speed. Some people criticize Lu Ru for being too kind, and this kind of animal protectionism will kill human beings. But more people are beginning to seriously think about this issue. When a large number of species are born with wisdom, like Lu Ru, cooperate and make friends. Point 0. What about killing directly? Kill, can you finish killing? Or slavery? The Alliance has not yet made a statement, but the scientific community has turned to Lu Ru in an all-round way. On the internet, this matter has caused overwhelming discussions. I felt the malice from some people. The phantom whale exudes consciousness. Lu Ru was startled immediately, and quickly comforted her. It's okay. We are a group with many individuals. Everyone has their own ideas. The leader has the final say. She had to pretend to be the leader. I don't mind, human beings are like this, similar to killer whales. Magic Whale couldn't help thinking carefully about the knowledge imparted by the divine will, and found it more and more interesting. Is this the individual mind and will? A large amount of food was delivered and dumped directly into the mouth of the phantom whale by truck. Not bad, it really is delicious. The phantom whale closed its eyes enjoying it. It was really delicious and there were more human beings. It decided to deal with this human named Lu Ru properly. A lot of food to eat. Chen Mo obtained dozens of different animal genetic maps. 2 long-standing research missions have progressed again. Immediately afterwards, a large number of mushrooms took advantage of this rich food, multiplied crazily, and then exploded a large number of spores. Woo! The phantom whale let out a howl. Then exhale, a huge water column rises into the sky. More spores went to the sky, the earth and the deep sea. It's raining. It's another green water column. On both sides of the strait, the lights became one, and countless cameras clicked. Lu Ru was holding an umbrella, feeling secretly in her heart, she only hoped that this harmonious scene could last forever. What the hell is in this green water? Probably some kind of algae. There are people who are more knowledgeable than 2.9. These days, there are too many mutated plants and animals every day, and everyone has begun to take it for granted. The green water fell into the sea water, and the tiny spores in it began to multiply. In the ocean that no one pays attention to, the huge creep of the sun is spreading. Chen Mo slightly adjusted the shape of the creep, and adjusted the buoyancy by creating cavities and absorbing metal substances. In this way, the entire creeper is slowly lowered, which can not only absorb sunlight, but not be directly exposed to the sea. The number of species in the ocean is dozens of times that of the continent. Here, Chen Mo has gained a lot. At the same time, some creepers began to stretch toward the spring. Event: you absorbed the mutated kelp cells, obtained 100% of the mutated kelp genes, you extracted the relevant genes from them, your chloroplasts were optimized, and at the same time, you obtained a new band-like porous structure, which allows you to change the form of the creep, supporting you to expand in the liquid with a more adaptable form. The adaptability of the highly alkaline environment is increased, and the adaptability is plus 0.5. This structure came at just the right time. Chen Mo immediately began to improve his form. At this time, if someone comes to observe again, the creeps in the ocean are already quite different from those on the ground. Even looking at the genes can make a difference. Chen Mo is able to manipulate genes and perform camouflage. Anyone who comes here will think that these are 2 different species. If the ground is like a creeper, spread all the way, in the ocean, the creeper is vertically long, like kelp. Yes, the roots of the creeps are rooted on the seabed, and the top is like aquatic plants, drifting with the ocean currents, stretching for dozens of kilometers. This structure achieves a perfect balance between occupying the spring and absorbing nutrients. Some of the springs are in the deep sea, and the creeps are floating on the sea surface, which is too far away from the center of the spring. With the new structure, there is no need to worry about this kind of problem. Even, Chen Mo thought of a more extreme method. Directly let a whole piece of creep first absorb enough nutrients on the sea surface, expand to a large enough extent, and then directly sink into the deep sea by absorbing metal elements, removing air, changing the weight. Wrap the whole spring. There are 20 floors inside and outside. Only a few ribbon-shaped structures are left floating on the sea surface, which meet the needs of nutrients. Looking at the deep sea, this balloon-shaped capsule covered with tentacles. Chen Mo was very emotional. At first I thought it would be difficult to occupy the springs in the ocean, but I didn't expect it to be implemented in the end, and the operation is much simpler than on land. This is the benefit of evolution. With the continuous improvement of his ability, his adaptability is continuously enhanced, and various transformations can be made at will. Even in the face of an unfamiliar deep-sea environment, the structure can be adjusted immediately, and efficient activities can be carried out immediately. Gradually, there is no place on the planet that can stop Chen Mo's pace. It seems that in a short time, I will be able to collect enough evolution points, recombine and evolve the corrosion gene, and then break open the battleship and explore the secrets inside. Maybe there will be an opportunity to enter the vacuum environment. Even if not, it would be a great thing to be able to obtain some genes of alien creatures, and it might greatly expand my knowledge. Of course, even if this is not the case, it doesn't matter, I just need to solve the problem of vacuum survival. Chen Mo whispered to himself, he has this confidence, even if he evolves alone, he can rush into space. What's more, on this planet, he is far from the only person who wants to rush into space. The Terra Confederation has been formed. All the resources began to be quickly integrated under his secret control. For the first time in history, human beings have become a whole, and the internal friction has been reduced to the lowest level, because all the resources of the Emperor have been used for scientific research. Not to mention anything else, in terms of psionic technology, Chen Mo can get a lot of benefits from the Research Institute every day. Chen Mo sorted out human technology carefully. According to this speed of development, it won't take long for human beings to be able to research technology to the appearance of a level 2 civilization. That is to develop a state similar to a fusion reactor. At this time, they have enough energy to carry out space voyages. It has to be said that the emergence of psionic energy also played a key role in it. Several key problems in materials and technology can be bypassed through psionic technology. It is equivalent to additionally reducing the difficulty. This should be a hack. There are 3 kinds of plugins: intelligence, supernatural, and I. Psionics is explosive in the development of human intelligence and supernatural power. Not to mention the role of I, that is, Chen Mo. It can be said that without the secret control of his main cheat, human beings are still playing the trick of throwing nuclear bombs at each other. And in terms of human characteristics, intelligence, and supernatural, Chen Mo penetrates deeply. Through the ancestor cells, he greatly strengthened the strength of these 2 dimensions. Through this process, he also completely bound these 2 talents with the ancestor cells. Stripping off the progenitor cells, they no longer possess these 2 characteristics. In other words, go straight back to before liberation. It's coming soon, it will only take a week at most. Chen Mo looked at the property panel and thought easily. Within a week, he will expand the creep to the global ocean by mutating blue whales and killer whales, etc., and occupy all the spiritual springs. With the support of these springs, the amount of psionic energy he acquires every day will increase by about 3 times. And in the process, his genetic profile is also skyrocketing. It can increase by about 1,000 almost every day. Nidus worms, killer whales, blue whales, these behemoths are collecting genes of various species for Chen Mo at all times. This directly led to all kinds of information swiping the screen, and Chen Mo simply didn't bother to look at it, and organized it when he had time. It didn't take long for Chen Mo to be proud, but he encountered trouble in Zhang. In the deepest part of the trench called Mariana, a piece of sinking creep was directly eaten up. A strange creature occupies a deep-sea spring. There is not a single other species around, a large area of blackness. Chen Mo didn't pay attention at first, but in a blink of an eye, the creep was swallowed up, and he lost his vision of the deep sea. Didn't even have time to secrete toxins. This kind of attack happens frequently, and Chen Mo is used to it. After all, the springs in the ocean are often occupied by mutated creatures. However, it was the first time to be Spike killed another group of out-of-control mutant creatures. With Chen Mo's thought, tiny spores floating on the sea surface immediately began to expand. The spores expand mycelium, and the mycelium gathers into a creeper. The green creeper absorbs solar energy, uses this energy to continuously obtain various nutrients from the ocean, and then expands rapidly. Sink. Let me see what the hell you are, Chen Mo whispered, and the creep bubbles bubbled out, squeezed out the air, and began to sink at an accelerated rate. At the same time, there are two creeper blankets connected to this sinking creeper blanket through banded creeper blankets to provide endless nutrient support. Under the dark vision, Chen Mo could see a large mass of dark things rushing up. Is a bug. The very small bugs are only the size of a pinhead, and the largest are no more than the size of a grain of rice. This kind of thing is extremely fast, and it is in front of the creep in a blink of an eye. This time, Chen Mo reinforced the creep, which is full of heavy metals and venom. Let you all eat a shit. Chen Mo was stunned for a while. These little bugs didn't do anything at all, they just ate the creep. Even if they ate it, they ate all the way up the tape-shaped creeper until they felt that they were too far away from the spring, so they went back. A pair of unfinished look. Tisk tisk. Poison resistance, aggressiveness, they are all off the chart bugs. Chen Mo came back to his senses and was not upset that the operation failed again. Turning his gaze, he came to Lu Ru's laboratory. It happened that Ali was pondering her thesis here, and Chen Mo controlled her to find information about this strange creature. It seems that the mutation should be very serious, but the appearance should not change much. Vaguely, Chen Mo always felt that he had seen this kind of bug somewhere. The appearance is somewhat familiar. It should be some kind of well-known bug, otherwise I wouldn't have the impression of seeing it. He searched carefully. Type in some keywords like tenacious, bugs, and water. Then, a picture of a bug popped up. Tardigrades. Ordinary tardigrades range in size from 50 microns to 1.4 millimeters, and generally require magnifying tools to observe clearly. The group of mutated water bears has increased in size by more than 100 times. No wonder it's so powerful. Chen Mo continued to look through the literature. This is a species known as the strongest vitality on the entire planet. Water bear is a common name for tardigrades. There are many kinds of tardigrades, and there are more than 900 subclasses. They are far more successful than the well-known mice and cockroaches. The vitality is more tenacious. If there is a grass-resistant king on Terra, it must be it. Tardigrades are found throughout the Arctic, tropical, and deep seas. Even in the mountains of more than 8,000 meters, they can be found in the deep sea of 10,000 meters. It can also be said that anywhere on Terra, if you grab a stone or a handful of water, you may find traces of this species in it. In addition, humans have also discovered that tardigrades can survive in a vacuum. Seeing this news, Chen Mo Bing was shocked. Unexpectedly, there is a species that can survive in a vacuum on the Earth. Space. That is exactly the area he is thinking about, and the next step will be to expand. Of course, strictly speaking, tardigrades are not called being able to survive in a vacuum, but being able to survive. These are two completely different concepts. In extremely harsh environments, tardigrades can dehydrate their bodies into a state similar to hibernation. In this state, the water content in their bodies will drop from 85% to 3%, and their bodies will shrink, which can withstand harsh environments for several years, such as extreme temperature, ionizing radiation, hypoxia, etc. When the environment improves, the body will recover again. But even so, it was terrifying. This kind of adaptability is unprecedented. In Chen Mo's evaluation system, if the adaptability of cockroaches is 80, then this kind of creature can reach the level of the early 100s. That is, to be able to survive in space. 200 is able to move freely in space without affecting body functions. Hee, this kind of creature is really wonderful, God help me too. After Chen Mo opened the information, he had a plan in mind. He was going to let humans find some unmutated tardigrades first. But before he could start to act, suddenly, beneath the Arctic ice, something unexpected happened. Not good. Chen Mo's face changed, and his consciousness instantly switched to the outside of that strange battleship. This thing is sending out a signal. Chen Mo's whole brain was running crazily. After 5 seconds, they found the corresponding frequency and interfered with each other. All kinds of electromagnetic waves and spiritual energy fluctuations emitted by the battleship are intercepted. Another kind of weird fluctuation is gravitational wave, and he also found a way to shield it after a minute. But Chen Mo was in a bad mood. The other party is using various methods to send signals to the outside. These are just what he detected. Thanks to him, just in case, he arranged all the detectors that he could evolve around the entire battleship, 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. This was discovered in time. And the huge brain still has consciousness, which makes his computing power terrifying. In just 1 minute, he blocked all the signals he could perceive. However, will there be more advanced communication methods that I cannot perceive? Taking a 10,000 step back, in the 5 seconds just now, an electromagnetic wave signal was also emitted. The gravitational wave was launched for a full minute. This kind of signal, Chen Mo can't get back. Another battleship of this level is absolutely impossible for me to compete against. Chen Mo said solemnly, and the other party might still be sending out signals continuously at this moment. In some advanced way that Chen Mo couldn't perceive. Looks like it's time to hurry up. At the same time, on the top of the largest mountain, there are huge, lighthouse, mushrooms unfolding. They are Chen Mo's eyes observing the sky. Under his signal, the astronomical stations of human beings are being reactivated. For 2 days, Chen Mo has not found any information. My heart is a little more stable. At the same time, Chen Mo already had guesses about the huge spiritual energy fluctuations found in the sky last time. He can be sure that it must be an alien creature. And it must have been attracted by this spaceship. Long before Chen Mo spotted the spaceship, it had already tried to send a distress signal. Indeed, a rescue spacecraft has been nearby. It was only because of the special shell of that strange warship that it could only be detected at close range, so the other party did not find the warship. And the distress signal sent by the battleship should be incomplete. It doesn't have that much energy, so it can only call for help intermittently. The other party probably doesn't know whether there will be a rescuer, so the signals emitted are varied, ranging from electromagnetic waves that can be accepted by elementary civilizations to very advanced psionic energy, broadcasting on all channels. In this way, the spaceship last time should be just a coincidence, and they will not go back to rescue again. This conclusion reassures Chen Mo. As long as there is no civilization that exceeds the civilization level of the spaceship should not be found. Chen Mo carefully speculated that the last time he discovered the fluctuation of psionic energy, and this time, it was almost a month ago. That is to say, it will take at least a month before it can accumulate enough energy to ask for help again. But Chen Mo is not ready to give it a chance. Within a week, completely eradicate your hidden danger. Chen Mo said coldly. Of course, he could also remove all the creeps and get up silently, as if he hadn't found the spaceship and let it be rescued. But it's a little risky. Chen Mo can't guarantee what kind of aliens will be attracted. The other party has a bad temper and just melted the entire glacier in the North Pole with 1 shot. Or after finally saving the spaceship, thinking it would be no good, they fired a star destroyer on the planet in a fit of rage. In short, Chen Mo cannot afford to take this risk. If the entire planet is finished, Chen Mo, who has not yet evolved the ability to survive in space, will be finished. He didn't want his evolutionary journey to end before it officially started. In the dark and silent universe, a huge spaceship received a mysterious signal. After some deciphering, it was known that it was a distress signal. Fat, I'm afraid I'm going to get rich now. A rescue signal from the level 3 civilization, Kota. The captain said excitedly, I must rescue you. With a snap, he slid his fingers, resetting the course. Captain Cole, you have deviated from the normal course, do you need my help? I do not need it, thank you. The captain said something very upset. He didn't understand why the upper management had to deploy this lowest level, artificial mental retardation, on board. He was just like an idiot, babbling endlessly all day long. Is he the captain or the other party? If you like this stupid thing so much, just let it fly the spaceship. Your actions violated Company Regulation 1413 and you may face some inquiries. The signal sent by the other party meets the standards of the Star Council, and my rescue behavior is protected by the Council. said the captain. But the protocol standard of the other party is the early version 1.1, which is different from the latest version 1.2 protocol. The other party needs to provide an additional security statement and... Okay, shut up quickly, I decided to use the special authority of the captain. The captain said this while inputting the authorization code, which finally made the artificial intelligence shut up. To use the captain's special authority, a report must be made when he goes back. He needs to explain to the board of directors why he did this. After all, this is the company's property. This could get him into serious trouble and even lose his current noble job. But the captain thought it worth the honor's risk. Good-hearted to save the aliens. This is of course impossible. What he values is this early agreement of version 1.1, which is not old, so he still does not go there. You know, that time was the beginning of the establishment of the Star Council, so a spaceship that can send out a rescue signal after such a long time must be extraordinary. If that civilization has not perished, it may already be an ancient level 3 civilization, which is extremely powerful. If you are lucky enough, you may have already advanced to level 4 civilization. If he can get the help of this civilization, he will be able to flourish in an instant. I've had enough of this crappy company, my goal is the free space station. He smiled lightly, and if he was lucky, he might be able to buy a large piece of land on his home planet and enjoy retirement in advance. After carefully scanning and analyzing the signal, he was able to confirm 100% that the source of the signal came from within a star system. The galaxy is very simple, a middle-aged red dwarf star, and 8 planets orbiting it. However, the environment is quite suitable, and it is rare in this remote corner. I don't know if there are any precious species on it, I can get some extra money back by the way. After dealing with the matter of the battleship, Chenmo began to hurry up and evolve. With this ticking time bomb, I always feel uneasy. Must speed up. At this time, humans also collected enough tardigrades. 10 vials. More than half of them are farmed. Under the right environment, the reproductive ability of tardigrades is barely passable. Although wild tardigrades seem to be everywhere, in fact, they are quite difficult to find. Especially if you let the mushrooms find it, this is simply embarrassing the mushrooms. Finally, the task is completed. After submitting the tardigrade samples, several experimenters breathed a sigh of relief. God knows why the urging is so urgent. It's really the above sentence, the next one will break your leg. No, this water bear's life is really hard, but its reproduction is not strong enough, it can almost kill people. The higher-ups are pressing hard, and they want so much, do you want to eat it? A researcher complained. Then such special is definitely the most expensive dish. There are 10 kinds of tardigrades in different environments, from snow mountains to deep seas, and even craters. A researcher angrily shook the report inside. What the hell, you don't want this report, do you? I'm so good. Haha. The researcher suddenly smiled, I am the first author of the report. I am so happy with him. I just found one less type of bug than you, so I rank second, shit. This is not fair at all. I want to report to Professor Liu. The second researcher originally wanted to tease the other party, but he didn't expect 897 to be shown instead, so he cursed angrily. But scolding, he still carefully put away the documents. With this thing, his projects this year can be regarded as settled, and his performance in the next few years will also be stable. The third researcher was quite open-minded. Instead of eating what was in the bowl, he looked at what was in the pot. He smiled and said, "Did you hear it when you stamped it just now? It said that if you find more characteristic creatures of various types, you can directly give us more heavyweight metals. It's not just a big project report. Quote, how can it be so easy to find, adapt to all kinds of harsh environments, can move at -200 degrees, can move in magma with thousands of degrees, fly super fast, or can produce all kinds of strange fuels." He randomly listed the limits, and then spread his hands. If these creatures existed in the past, I wouldn't dare to think about them. Although there are many mutant species now, to be honest, with my strength, I really can't get them. Everyone nodded and felt the same way. Under this standard, I know who said it. It is surprisingly high. I don't know what to do. It's probably part of a large-scale research project. You don't even have a deadline, and the research funding given is quite sufficient. I have a way, we can find psychers to cooperate, we know knowledge, they have experience," said one of the researchers. "That's dangerous too, but you have to try." Everyone nodded in agreement. The rewards given by this project are really too tempting. Every time you discover a species that can be selected as a special creature, you can get a lot of rewards. If there is corresponding research, the rewards will be even richer. Seeing the excited faces of many researchers, Chenmo was very satisfied. This is the inspiration brought to him by the water bear incident. It is too slow to find various genes by himself. Even though his computing power is already superior and he can handle many things at the same time, his consciousness is always only one. After all, it's just an individual. There is no need for multi-threading to do that, and I feel tired. Moreover, if you spend all your time cultivating human beings, do you want to cultivate a few girls to play with? It is for use. All human beings must be mobilized to improve efficiency. Just at this time, the alliance has been established for a while, and it is running well, and all kinds of voices against the alliance have been suppressed, although there are still some psychers who want to stand on their own hills and make trouble. But overall it has been stable. And Lu Ru, also with the great credit for settling the mutated krill, was directly elected as the chief scientist by unanimous vote. With various convenient conditions, Chenmo has extremely detailed control over human beings, allowing them to do some complicated tasks. After thinking about it like this, Chenmo simply put out all kinds of requirements. Just find any reason, whether it's an exhibition or research, anyway, let the upper management slap their heads and come up with a project. The cost of this project may seem huge, but it is actually very demanding and does not cost much. Humans don't get much attention inside. But among professionals, it will spread widely. Especially this project, which is directly under Lu Ru's name, is a big project. Anyone who participates in it can add a lot of color to his resume. Lu Ru, as the chief scientist of the current alliance, no one will question the progress of this project. Chenmo can calmly handle the scent samples. For example, the 10 bottles of water bear caught worms in front of me. Each bottle contains millions to tens of millions of tardigrades. These are all tardigrades that haven't mutated yet. Their colors and shapes are slightly different, and they are subspecies. They all have their own unique features. But one thing in common is that they all live in extremely harsh environments. In order to obtain these samples, the scientists who accepted the task worked hard, traveled all over the world, and took a lot of manpower. If it weren't for the current global unification, it would be impossible to achieve this in a short period of time. Even without the existence of ancestor cells, there are some areas where the physical fitness of scientists simply cannot reach them. Even if you could, you wouldn't be able to bring equipment to spot tardigrades, as some of them are too small to be seen with the naked eye. Fortunately, progenitor cells can activate the powerful visual function of the eye, allowing these researchers to perform a certain degree of microscopic observation with the naked eye without carrying equipment. This is the mystery of finding these little guys in a few days. The scientist who spent so much energy collecting and cultivating the precious samples in the laboratory did not cherish them, and picked up the samples with a blank expression. Half of it was left, and the other half was poured directly into the mushroom pot beside it. People who didn't know thought he was pouring tea. If this scene is seen by the person who submitted the sample just now, he must curse and go crazy with anger. The researcher didn't care, and replaced it with a smaller size culture bottle with a calm face, so that the tardigrade sample still looked full. Satisfied, Chenmo controlled the mushroom and began to absorb the genes. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of tardigrades, obtained 100% of the genes of tardigrades, and you extracted usable genes from them. You integrated these genes into your own genetic map, and your ability to deal with extreme environments has been greatly improved. Your adaptability has been greatly enhanced, adaptability +20, risk +5. The efficiency of various actions against water bears is increased by 100%. Information: through your detailed understanding of the tardigrade population, you have discovered a new set of low-consumption survival mode, which allows you to dehydrate the spores in an extremely harsh environment for 200 to 500 years. Etc. Life, depending on the harsh environment, when conditions permit, can be restored to life immediately. Your understanding of the branch of organic species and carbon-based organisms has also been deepened, and carbon-based organisms +10. So that's what water bears are. Chen Mo analyzed tardigrades in the most detail directly from the genetic level. This is 10,000 times more effective than any experimental observation, directly reaching the essence. It can be said that at this moment, everything about the tardigrade is no longer a secret in front of Chen Mo. He knows all about his weaknesses. This kind of weakness may not exist in nature, and the tardigrade has never encountered it, so it is naturally impossible to evolve corresponding preventive measures. However, Chen Mo can create that kind of weapon against tardigrades. And there is targeted 100% restraint. For a species, as long as Chen Mo catches one, the entire group will no longer have an advantage in front of Chen Mo. Everything about them is exposed. Even, they don't need to be of the same species, as long as they belong to a large category. After Chen Mo has collected enough genetic data, they will be horribly suppressed by Chen Mo. At this time, Chen Mo also had a considerable understanding of the mutant tardigrades. They are of the same origin as water bears, except for the psionic genes, the rest are almost the same. Holy will, they are still there, they have not moved, but they are very greedy, and they have eaten up the food around them. The leader of the killer whale was in charge of the monitoring task here. He felt the slightly boiling blood in his body, and knew that the divine will had come. What about its quantity? Chen Mo asked. He sent a team of killer whales to watch the mutated water bears here, to prevent the rest of the creatures from approaching and becoming food for each other, or carrying the water bears on their bodies, spreading to the rest of the place. Once this group of mutated water bears expands, the problem will really become serious. The whole ocean, or even Terra, don't think there's peace. Although this possibility is very low, Chen Mo has to guard against it. The size of the swarm has increased by about 10 times, and the number should have reached the entire level of billions, but it seems that the number has stopped growing since yesterday. The killer whale leader has accepted many missions from Chen Mo, and has also received rewards. The most important of these is to obtain a lot of knowledge from the divine will. This allows it to better communicate with the divine will, and at the same time learn the magical knowledge of counting. He already has concepts like 1, 2, how many times, and so on. Chen Mo was very pleased to hear the killer whale answer his question like this. He felt that he had finally taught the students. After all, just instilling knowledge sometimes doesn't work. It is the last word to think and use by yourself. Among them, the most outstanding one he trained is naturally Lu Rule, followed by the Queen and Miss Hacy, and several other little guys, and now the killer whale barely counts as one. Okay, you can leave now. Okay, Holy Will. The leader of the killer whales uttered a cry and left with the group of whales. Interesting, is this psionic dependence? Like phototropism, maybe I should call it psionicism. 127. Chen Mo smiled. At the same time, I also feel fortunate that many groups of non-intelligent creatures are like this. They like to huddle together in a large group and do not move separately. The previous mutated krills and the current mutated tardigrades. That's all. If they were a little more intelligent, they would expand rapidly like a group of mutant rats. If there is more opportunity, it will be like human beings, one by one, scattered. Of course, the mutated tardigrades have another feature, that is, they like to gather near Zhang Nengyuan's eyes. Not even willing to stay away. Obviously, they have some way of perceiving spiritual energy, and can absorb spiritual energy, otherwise, they would not grow to such a large size. Stronger ability than mutant krill. Chen Mo observed carefully, but did not notice this feature. This is because there is strong spiritual energy nearby, and the wishing eye interferes with Chen Mo's detection. But it doesn't matter, he is about to get the mutated tardigrade to be rescued, and he will directly explore the truth from the genes. Soon, the creep that had been prepared long ago began to sink. But the bugs swarmed, then keep devouring the creep. The mutated tardigrades were not large in size, but they came in a black mass, and the bacteria shrunk at a speed visible to the naked eye. But while devouring, water bears kept losing their ability to move, and then struggled to sink. The four claws waved weakly, but the body still turned over uncontrollably, and then died. Water bears have no intelligence. Since they think they can eat and attack, they will not stop this action. Chen Mo has also adjusted the toxin composition long ago, removing dangerous components that can be detected by tardigrades. In other words, the toxin will start to synthesize deadly substances only after it enters the water-bear worm's body. This directly caused the tardigrades to sink piece by piece. Even some of them stiffened up before touching the creeper, and sank slowly. The bottom of the sea is full of mutated tardigrade corpses accumulated in a layer of half a meter. It seems that the effect can be adjusted. Chen Mo watched a large number of mutated tardigrades die, and while adjusting the genetic structure to secrete more targeted venom, he used mycelium to roll up some fresh corpses around the edges. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of the mutated tardigrade, obtained 6% of the mutated tardigrade gene, and you extracted usable genes from it. You integrated these genes into your own genetic map, and your ability to deal with extreme environments was partially improved. Enhanced: your ability to corrode organic matter has been improved, and you have a new understanding of the structure of the chitin shell, which allows you to maintain a certain degree of mobility even in harsh environments. Adaptability +5, danger sense +1. Continue. Chen Mo manipulated the mycelium and continued to grab the prey. Although most of the hyphae were bitten off by the bugs that surged up after catching their prey, but Chen Mo's mycelium is endless. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of the mutated water bear, obtained 8% of Li Quan's water bear gene. Constantly acquired genes. Half an hour later, Chen Mo whistled happily. All the mutant tardigrade memories are here. Information: you have obtained 100% genetic map of the mutated tardigrade. By analyzing the genes, your understanding of the mutated tardigrade has been deepened. Based on this research, through massive gene comparisons, as well as the relationship between tardigrades and mutated tardigrades gene map comparison, you have a deep understanding of how psionic energy acts on organic matter and the details of genetic modification. You have a deep understanding of the relationship between psionic energy and matter, and you have discovered a brand new species evolutionary model: superior body, adaptability +10, psionic knowledge +5, carbon-based organisms +5, extraordinary body +1. Evolution clues: extraordinary form. Through the analysis of mutated rat colonies, mutated ant colonies, and human races, you thought you had discovered the most important ways of evolution in the world, but with the appearance of mutated tardigrades, you were keenly aware that it compared with the previous excellent species, there is a significant difference, especially in the effective benefit of genes to flesh and blood. 0. At the same time, by obtaining the genetic map of the mutated tardigrade, you can further confirm this understanding. This is a brand new evolutionary model, and a possible evolutionary path has emerged. Carbon-based creatures +10000, psionic knowledge +50, extraordinary form +10, will allow you to further explore the mysteries. The third evolutionary path. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. This one seemed to have an extraordinary enhancement in viability and strength of flesh and blood. After this period of research, Chen Mo also has some understanding of the other two roads. There is no need for idealism. This path should be taken by species with strong individual consciousness. As for Gestalt thinking, this should be the path of group organisms. Extraordinary form should be the evolution route of a single life form. There are 3 evolutionary paths, some of which require a lot of emphasis on psionic abilities, while others require both. There are thousands of paths of evolution, and these 3 are the paths that I have discovered so far that I can carry on. Chen Mo carefully analyzed the 3 evolutionary routes. In fact, he has dabbled in all 3 so far. Seriously speaking, it is difficult for him to be strictly classified into any category. His individuality is indeed very powerful, but he also has an extremely powerful consciousness, with some shadows of Gestalt thinking, and in terms of spiritual energy, he has gone further than humans. Coupled with controlling human beings, he indirectly embarked on the path of idealism. This trip has been very rewarding. Chen Mo not only gained a lot of knowledge, but because of the research on the mutant tardigrades, his adaptability finally broke through 100. The peak biological adaptability on Terra is about 100. The mutated water bear went a step further on this basis, reaching over 100. And Chen Mo, who has the advantage of gathering a large number of creatures, has made great strides forward. His fitness hit 116.6. During this period of time, Chen Mo's attribute data has undergone earth-shaking changes through the expansion of the Arctic continent and the deep sea. Race: mutated mushroom. Evolution point: 1245. Gene bank: 100% mutant tardigrades, 100% mutant kelp, 100% mutant blue whales. Available genes: hallucination type 5, corruption X, corrosion, metal type 8, cavity structure, toxin type 8, nerve type 5, regeneration type 8. Research bonus: carbon-based organisms plus 10, 400, psionic knowledge plus 36, gestalt thinking plus 4, idealism plus 1, extraordinary form plus 1. Organ properties panel. Variation: mycelium. The nutrient absorption efficiency is 2.5. All comers are welcome, quite strong nutrient absorption capacity. Spores adaptability is 116.6. Powerful spreading ability, extremely large number, incredible vitality, and tenacity that can be dormant for thousands of years. This is a miracle in the history of planetary evolution. Cap: after maturity, spores can be produced. The number of each batch is 6-8 billion. The production cycle is 330 minutes per cycle, which requires a lot of nutrients. Overall evaluation: the danger level is 35.3. You have far surpassed the danger level of ordinary creatures. It is far from enough to measure your influence by the degree of damage to the planet's ecology. Your existence has surpassed the average planet's creatures. This set of concepts no longer applies to you, and you have already taken a crucial step to become a cosmic creature, which may cause incalculable harm to an entire galaxy. Evolution clue: the current progress of evolution clue, heart of the swarm, is 35%. The current progress of evolution clue, spiritualism, is 15%, and the current progress of evolution clue, extraordinary body, is 20%. A space creature. Chen Mo smiled calmly. This step is the only way to go. He had already prepared, so he was not too excited. On the contrary, he was very excited about what he was going to do next. If he had hands at this moment, he would rub his hands happily. There is a kind of excitement of opening a treasure chest. As soon as the screen changed, he had come to the side of the mysterious spaceship. It may have been an extremely long time since this spaceship crashed on Terra. Because of the loss of not knowing about tardigrades last time, Chen Mo learned from the pain. Read all the mainstream scientific knowledge of human beings. The distributed neural network that has spread to the whole world, including snow mountains and deep seas, is enough for Chen Mo to learn this knowledge in one day, and it takes another day to sort it out by category. With this knowledge as a base, and Chen Mo's detection organs that are equivalent to various scientific instruments, he has already determined the age of the surrounding rocks, and then judged based on the various traces of the spacecraft embedded in the rocks. At least it's a thing from a billion years ago. In such a distant age, this thing can still send out signals. This made Chen Mo feel very incredible. Earlier, perhaps, before life was born on Terra, it was here. 21. Chen Mo felt a little emotional. This, perhaps, is the first life on the entire planet. Can't help but feel a trace of the weight of history. In the universe, life is really too small. However, there will still be miracles. The spaceship in front of him clearly told Chen Mo what a miracle is. As for the height that intelligent life can reach, how high is it? This is an unimaginable height for ordinary humans. Even Chen Mo is a little unbelievable. Even after such a long time, this spaceship is already able to run some functions, and even the strength of the outer shell is already so high. So much so that on Terra, no technology can break the shell. At this moment, Chen Mo was encouraged. His way of evolution will reach such a height sooner or later. Immortal for billions of years and even stronger. A billion-year-old treasure chest, let me see what you can bring me. Chen Mo whispered, and an evolutionary tree appeared before his eyes. Warning: you are trying to use evolution points to recombine and evolve the corrosion gene, which may increase the corrosion ability of acid, and has special effects on inorganic substances. 99.99% probability. It is worth noting that this operation may lead to unknown consequences. 0.01% probability. Choose carefully. Without the slightest hesitation, Chen Mo directly invested a large amount of attribute points. This time, he relied on his evolutionary points to be tough. Of course, he also made the rest of the meticulous preparations. During this period of time, he has arranged for human beings and collected a large number of genetic maps, especially the one about the corrosion of genes. Therefore, his accumulation has been very rich. This can be seen from the thick corruption branch on the evolutionary tree. It has been spreading to corrosion, and it has only shrunk a little, and it can continue to extend for a long time. After failing 5 times, Chenmo spent a total of 1030 evolution points, and finally recombined the corrosion gene into the strongest form. 0. Information: you have obtained the Corrosion X type gene, which supports you to secrete more powerful corrosive acid liquid, which has a strong corrosive effect on inorganic substances, and loosens and disintegrates its structure at the atomic level, and it is worth noting, unfortunately, you cannot effectively preserve the acid for the time being, and the secreting cells will be disintegrated at the moment of synthesis. Gain adaptability +1, danger +5. Terrible acid. Chenmo tried to synthesize a drop, and then found that things got bigger. His entire creep was gone. Yes, although this terrifying acid is said to have a stronger reaction to inorganic substances, at this level, even fragile flesh and blood can't handle it. This drop of acid, no, not even a drop, anyway, it was an extremely small amount of acid, which fell on the ground and instantly dissolved a large pit. The edge of the pit is extremely smooth, with a diameter of 10 meters. However, the acid was lost, and it was still eroding downwards. The pit keeps deepening. Hiss. Chenmo looked at the hundreds of meters deep hole that had been melted out, and took a deep breath. If there are enough of them, this stuff might be able to easily melt through the Earth's crust. Tisk tisk. As expected of disintegrating matter from the atomic level, it's terrifying. Chenmo observed carefully, and found that the toxin basically only acts as a catalyst, and then causes the disintegration of the substances around 2.7, and it is not consumed by itself. This is why acid is so scary. Most of the acid itself will also participate in the reaction, and the natural corrosion ability is limited. But this strong acid made by Chenmo is different. It itself participates in the corrosion process but hardly reduces it. Will only be diluted. Yes, as the reaction progresses, this acid will gradually spread, just like a drop of ink entering the sea, slowly disappearing. An acid that cannot be neutralized, only diluted. This kind of acid, from the perspective of Chenmo, a Level 2 civilization, cannot be effectively blocked. Just like when he was still a planetary creature and dominated the first-level civilization species, his hallucinogens could not be effectively resisted by any creature. I am afraid that only civilizations above level 3 can resist the corrosion of this acid. Chenmo made a guess based on his own knowledge and the human civilization system. Chapter 111. This should be my strongest weapon right now. Chenmo smiled. He didn't expect this weapon to be used in actual combat for the first time. It turned out to be on the open coffin. A thing that has been around for so long, isn't it just a coffin? Or a coffin from outer space. Maybe a big zongzi from outer space pops out of it. Chenmo couldn't help complaining. Then without any further hesitation, a piece of creep spread out, revealing a smooth metal wall. This is the shell armor of the spaceship. If Chenmo was not sure before, after the unexpected signal event last time, he has already confirmed it 100%. He recorded a copy of those signals and handed them over to humans who are good at this field for deciphering. Coupled with the help of his powerful computing power, results have been achieved. This is a very neatly formatted call for help. There is an automatically decoded dictionary in the information, and any civilization that reaches level 2 or close to it can unlock the content. Even if the next planet is inhabited, even if it is only a first-level civilization, it is possible to interpret the content. Because it has a decoding dictionary with 0 and 1 as the basic mathematical unit. Of course, there are thousands of other dictionaries that use the cosmological constant as a reference. So, does the other party have reached the end of their rope? After all, no civilization would seek help from a low-level civilization first, unless it is really dying. After obtaining this information, Chenmo felt more at ease. All the actions to forcibly open the spaceship this time should not be dangerous on the whole. However, Chenmo still prepared a lot of weapons outside, even the electric shock weapons whose technology was not yet mature. He wasn't quite sure what kind of civilization this so-called level 3, Kota, belonged to. Different civilization types obviously have different strengths and weaknesses. Humans don't dare to judge the type of civilization in the universe, but Chenmo himself has several evolutionary paths, as well as a detailed evolutionary tree of himself. So he has some reasonable guesses about the general classification of civilizations. A civilization that is unlikely to be very long in all respects. There is a high probability that they will follow a certain path and go to the dark one by one. Laugh. A rising white smoke accompanied by a sharp and ear-piercing sound brought Chen Mo back to reality. The first piece of acid was crafted and it worked. Thousands of cells in a palm-sized blanket all started to synthesize acid at the same time. If it is an ordinary creature, even if it obtains this acid, there is no way to prepare and use it. But Chen Mo's powerful control ability can be accurate to every cell. At this time, the benefits of strong consciousness are manifested, all the cells move in unison, accurate to femtoseconds. In an instant, all the acids were synthesized at the same time. Then the scene just happened. Instantly all the creep itself is dissolved. There is like a cell lying out of control. In an instant, the creep blanket disappeared, and the metal plate in place also began to blur. The surface is no longer so bright, like a layer of sulfuric acid. The color is also gradually becoming paler. Finally, amidst the violent hissing sound, a large area of white began to spread, and the entire shell of the battleship, which was several square meters, lost its luster, as if it had been sucked out of life, and turned pale. Immediately afterwards, the surface began to wrinkle, shaking like ripples. Boom! That piece of shell actually exploded directly. It fell to the ground like glass, and a whole piece of metal with an area of about 4 square meters shattered, fell to the ground, and then turned into powder. Chen Mo didn't have time to pay attention to the strange metal properties at this time, but with a thought, a spore cannon fired a shot into the battleship, and at the same time, mycelium began to spread inside. The entire battleship was pitch black. Chen Mo carefully scanned various organs, and he was relieved when he found a Genichi-like device. This proves that the owner of the battleship needs a light source, but the fact that the light is not turned on now can only show that it is indeed at the end of its rope. He also didn't detect any high-energy reactions. The spaceship is not big. Chen Mo arrived at the command center of the battleship, where the bridge was located, in a short while. With a glance, Chen Mo was stunned. There was actually someone in here. Yes, and an unusually beautiful woman. But this woman has only one head, the rest is gone, the whole head is soaked in the nutrient solution. Alarms sounded all around, and it was obvious that the woman was dead. It's not that it can't be done, but it's already gone. Chen Mo's consciousness is so powerful, he sensed it for a while, but he didn't have any thought fluctuations. Died. It should have been dead for at least hundreds of millions of years, and the nutrient solution has not been replaced for a long time, and it is a little cloudy inside. Her genes should be intact though. Chen Mo did not rush to open the cultivation tank, but carefully inspected the entire spaceship. He was pretty sure the woman was the only passenger, and she was pretty much dead. The signal of the spaceship is sent by a small program edited by artificial intelligence. Most of the artificial intelligence has been shut down, and now it can only make some mechanical answers. It said that if Chen Mo can send the spacecraft to the predetermined location, he can get an amazing reward. But it's been so long. Chen Mo exudes consciousness speechlessly. This battleship is very advanced, and all the equipment can be interacted with through consciousness. This is a battleship based on psionic technology. Please send the spaceship to the parent star of Kota. The coordinates have been sent to your consciousness. You will gain the friendship of Kota, and at the same time harvest the most steadfast allies. You can also choose the planet of life, or even bring planets with natural psychic energy leakage points. You will also get our full support in the Star Council. Please cherish this opportunity to break through the big barrier. Technically, we can also provide psychic technology. No matter what Chen Mo said, the other party repeated the above sentence over and over again. It's been more than 1 billion years, it's hard to say whether your Kota still exists or not. Don't blame me for being cheap, maybe the parent star exploded. Quote. Chen Mo complained. At the same time, most of the entire consciousness came over, and all the sensory organs were fully detected. The artificial intelligence, which Chen Mo complained about as iron bumps, still repeated this sentence. Please send the spaceship to the Kota mother planet. The coordinates have been. Chen Mo did not detect any anomalies. Only then did he relax his vigilance a little bit. This artificial intelligence said that shut itself down, leaving only an interface for the other party to detect possible rescue. Simultaneously engage in deadpan conversations. For this statement, Chen Mo is dubious. He doesn't know exactly how the artificial intelligence consumes energy. According to human speculation, the power consumption is indeed terrifying. But this is psychic technology, and it obviously has something to do with consciousness. Chen Mo didn't dare to listen to a machine's words casually. This might be fraudulent. Facing things he doesn't understand, Chen Mo is extremely cautious. After all, it has finally reached the level close to the creatures of the universe, and it seems that it is about to integrate the power of the whole world. If it falls into the hands of a machine at this moment. The 6 months before that were all white dogs. As for injecting electricity, awakening artificial intelligence, or letting go of the shield from psionic energy, don't even think about it. Chen Mo would not take this risk if he was killed. If it is human beings, since the technology has been slow to progress and cannot break through the limitations of the planet, they may give it a go for the progress of civilization. But Chen Mo is very sure that he can break out of the galaxy by himself. So there is no intention of taking any risks. He had reservations about what the robot said, and he didn't intend to believe a word. Unless he waits for him to fully understand the knowledge position in it. By the way, there is also this woman's gene. He was quite curious as to why this guy looked so similar to a human being. With genes, everything will have an answer. After all, the level and ideology of a civilization can be explored through genes. The crete spread and poured into the battleship. Chen Mo unceremoniously filled the inside, which could further shield the battleship from absorbing psionic energy. At the same time, if anything goes wrong, he can also instantly activate the Corrosion X gene, which will disintegrate to the atomic level with the creeper and the spaceship. At this moment, the entire spaceship is finally completely in the hands. Chen Mo breathed a sigh of relief. After finishing these, he began to proceed to the next step, which was to obtain the genes of alien women. Event: you absorbed the blood of the Kota stars and obtained 10% of the genes of the Kota stars. You extracted the usable genes from them, your genetic structure was optimized, your nutrient absorption ability was enhanced, mycelium nutrient absorption speed +1, your regeneration gene is enhanced, your neural gene is improved, adaptability +5. Chen Mo moved very cautiously, even the creep that he was moving on was divided separately. Information: your gene pool data has been updated, and you have obtained 100% of the Kota star's gene integrity. By analyzing the genes, you have a deeper understanding of the Kota star, and the efficiency of its various actions has increased by 100% absorption, transformation, trapping, looting genes, etc. Information: you have obtained 100% genetic map of the Kota stars. By analyzing the genes, you have obtained a large amount of psionic genetic data. By comparing the genes of humans and Kota stars, gained insight into the shaping of evolution. At the same time, you realize that the power of consciousness and psionic energy is so powerful that it can even deeply affect the evolution of a species in a fairly remote history. You have a certain understanding of the projection of consciousness interference based on psionic technology, based on for this research, your organic species branch, carbon-based biological knowledge +1000. Information: by analyzing the genetic map of the Kota aliens, you have deepened your understanding of psionic genes, and you have discovered a highly specialized organ based on the psionic environment. This organ allows you to have a direct impact on psionic energy. This effect is related to the structure of the nervous system of the strength of consciousness, and the discovery of a large number of psionic genes also gives you a new understanding of the combination of psionic energy and flesh and blood. Psionic knowledge +10, idealism +1. At the same time, you have a deeper understanding of genetic modification technology and the application of psionic energy in it, extraordinary body +1. As expected of a level 3 civilization with a high degree of evolution, Chen Mo was pleasantly surprised. This time, the harvest is simply too big. It was the first time he had gained so much knowledge from a single creature. A large amount of genetic knowledge. The carbon-based biological knowledge alone has soared 1,000 points at one time, not to mention the extremely precious idealism and extraordinary body. These two are high-end knowledge that are already difficult to obtain on the planet. Adaptability also increased by 5 points in one breath. It seems that this race of level 3 civilization has undergone large-scale genetic modification and strengthening, and I have seen at least 2 traces of major turning points in it. Chen Mo is an expert at playing with genes. He carefully checked the genetic map of the Kota people. There were 2 large-scale transformations, which should have been completed in a long history. There are countless pruning and pruning on the surface, which should be the gene enhancement entrusted by professionals in front of the woman. Although many useless genes have been removed from the entire genetic map, Chenmo can still glimpse the changes of this race. They should have lived in water at the beginning, and they also evolved from single-celled organisms to multicellular organisms, but there is one difference. They evolved psionic genes very early, probably at this stage similar to reptiles. Genes are like programming. Anyone who has played with programs knows that a program usually only adds new codes continuously, and keeps the old ones. As time goes by, the entire system will become larger and more complex. This is the disadvantage of natural evolution. Redundant historical baggage is very heavy. But this is a good thing for Chenmo. From these redundant genes, Chenmo can completely restore this Kota race. They are very proficient in psychic energy, and they should live on a planet that has leaked psychic energy a long time ago, and they have a milder personality, advocate the way of nature, and may have a single and very ancient religious belief. Very belligerent race. From the genes that control emotions in the genes, it can be seen that they have a good ability to control various emotions. This may be due to spiritual training, which requires a strong consciousness, and consciousness will in turn affect genes. The 2 mutually shaped such a race. Proficient in psychic energy, everyone looks handsome, and their physical fitness is about 5 to 10 times that of human beings, and they move very fast. According to human standards, all members of their entire race are psychics with the lowest grade A and above, and this kind of change does not need to be acquired, it can be inherited directly. A race of superhumans. Chenmo couldn't help calling it amazing. With a basic understanding of this race, Chenmo has a little bit of confidence in his heart. I have a little faith in the artificial intelligence's words. However, Chenmo's own strength is not enough, and he doesn't plan to fully awaken artificial intelligence yet. Although I am very greedy for the information that artificial intelligence may carry. Some level 3 Civ psionic technology. However, I can try to reproduce the root of the Kota family and create a small Kota family. With the technology of psionic organs, Chenmo can completely transform the entire human race. Take a divine path that suits them very well, idealism. Why is it very suitable? Because the human race is very similar to the Kota race. Yes, excluding the psionic genes, the similarity between the 2 can reach 80%. Of course, you would say that the genetic similarity between humans and pigs is over 90%. But one thing to know is that the species on a planet all have a common ancestor, the progenitor cells. It is normal to be similar, and it is outrageous to be different. And the Kota star people are far away, how many light years away? The 2 have a 10% similarity, which is an amazing coincidence. And 80%, which can no longer be explained by coincidence. Humanity originated from her. Chenmo looked a little strange, looking at the face in the culture fluid. He has already replaced it with a brand new culture medium. If you ignore the fact that there is only one head at this time, it looks like a princess sleeping peacefully inside. No, this is definitely not right, it is the influence of consciousness. Chenmo carefully analyzed the genetic map again. At the same time, he combined his own understanding of psionic knowledge, especially idealism. One of the concepts is very important, that is, consciousness can affect reality. For a powerful creature, consciousness alone can have an impact on the surrounding environment that is difficult for ordinary people to understand. Even the scope of this influence, the meat is surprisingly heavenly. For example, the shape, form, direction of evolution, and even the occasional flash of dreams. These are all related to consciousness. The appearance of human beings is inevitable, but with this appearance, it is obviously disturbed by the Kota woman's consciousness. The woman must have been alive then, or had been sober for some time. During this period of time, her consciousness had an indescribable impact on the entire planet, and even the entire galaxy. You can think that there is no such effect. If you think there is, that is idealism. These 2 views can sometimes exist at the same time, and Chenmo has not yet reached the point where he can specifically understand the mystery. But one thing is certain, this is one of the evaluation criteria for universe-level creatures. The thoughts in their minds can have a profound impact on the surroundings without being conscious, and this impact will be more significant if they are blessed with psionic energy. This feature Chen Mo has observed in humans. Consciousness and psionic energy have certain similarities, which is the premise that they can influence each other. Psionic energy can appear anywhere, anytime. And sometimes, some people can dream of monsters that do not exist in reality at all, and express them through manga, animation, and novels. This is to inadvertently receive some disturbances in consciousness. And psionic power can strengthen this ability. Even, by synchronizing the frequency of consciousness, establishing a connection in some incomprehensible way, establishing a connection between the real and the distant existence. Psychic energy can appear anywhere, so can consciousness, appear in the past, in the future. Chen Mo muttered to himself. It seems that we need to carefully observe the psychers among human beings, maybe there will be geniuses who can predict the future among them. This can further prove Chen Mo's conjecture. At the same time, it can also explain Chen Mo's inexplicable premonition last time. He instinctively hides himself, avoiding the gaze of the powerful gaze from the universe. This can be interpreted as a kind of simulated perception of the future by powerful computing power, or simply the foreseeable future in idealism. It seems that whichever path goes to the end, it has unimaginable magical power. The extremely powerful computer can simulate everything, and then deduce the future. Powerful consciousness, through psychic energy, can also exist at any point in time, directly peeping into the future. Two different paths, but able to do the same thing. However, in this way, human beings continue to develop, and establishing a connection with Kota is almost an inevitable outcome. Because the consciousness of the two is highly similar, even in a dream, it is possible to dream of each other's scene. The most likely mysterious existence that humans can summon is the Kota people. Quote, at this point, humans may only think it is a dream. But the Kota people must have corresponding knowledge. When human consciousness grows to a certain level, it is inevitable to be discovered by them. This node, I'm afraid it's just around the corner. If one reaches the weakest consciousness of the Kota people, that is, the level of an A-level psyker, there is a probability of being perceived by the other party. The entire people enters the age of psychic power. If billions of people be perceived is an inevitable event. This is probably the result that the dead Kota woman wanted to see. In this way, even if she dies, one day, her people will follow this mysterious disturbance of consciousness and find this planet. Tisk tisk. The layout spanning more than 1 billion years is amazing. This woman probably knows that there is little hope of going back, so she should leave this clue. 110 Chen Mo was a little shocked. After all, that woman may not be able to succeed, but she did it anyway. Maybe returning to her hometown is really important to her. Another point is that the sacred way, idealism, seems quite dangerous. It is easy to come into contact with unknown existences in the universe. Some consciousnesses may be very terrifying. Accidental contact may obtain extraordinary knowledge, but there is a high probability of instant sudden death. In this regard, Chen Mo can be regarded as a half-soil expert. His consciousness is very strong, and he also has the ability to establish contact with others. However, speaking of it this way, some of the myths and legends among human beings may not be nonsense, and there may be some real knowledge mixed with them, or the figure of a powerful creature. However, there must be no such creatures in the Terra galaxy. Otherwise the impact would be much more dramatic than that. Chen Mo has no way to speculate on this intensity for the time being, but he can infer the range of influence of the Kota people's consciousness through the distribution of species around the world and the similarity of genes. By back-calculating in this way, it is possible to roughly infer the possible locations of those powerful creatures. It's like a human being on the coast of the sea, through a tsunami, guess the starting point of the shock. Not through the rest of the equipment, only according to the degree of influence, and there are countless interferences. The difference must be 108,000 miles CAAA. And at this moment, in the face of this kind of disturbance, Chen Mo is not at the human level. It is more likely to be a spider, based on the vibration on the other side of the sea, guessing the starting point of the waves. The more he speculated, the more shocked Chen Mo felt, and then terrified. It's like looking up at the Titan, unable to calm down for a long time. Is this the influence of a truly powerful creature? There was a tremor in my heart. The result of his calculation is, the distance of this influence comes from at least 2 million light years away. Light travels a distance of 2 million years. That is, in another river system, as the Andromeda Galaxy, or the Centaur Galaxy. In an instant, countless lighthouse mushrooms all over the world looked up at the starry sky and retrieved the positions of these two galaxies. On this distant scale, it is just an insignificant small bright spot. Not as bright as fireflies yet, but Chen Mo knows that there may be extremely powerful cosmic creatures in it. Perhaps more advanced than this, a galaxy overlord creature. Even stronger than that. Tisk tisk. It's amazing, just the disturbance of consciousness can affect such a distant area. Chen Mo quietly looked at the starry sky above his head. This is the real big stage. But looking up at the starry sky, bowing your head, you still have to walk steadily. Continue to evolve. It's time to integrate resources from all over the world. According to the words of artificial intelligence, and the analysis of the genetic map of the Kota people, Chen Mo has identified several key points. First, and most importantly, the psionic leaking planet is a very precious planet, and it should be very rare in the universe. This kind of planet is even listed with the full support of level 3 civilizations as one of the reward options. And Terra, because of the probability, is a planet where spiritual energy leaks. There are many springs on this planet, all of which have leaked spiritual energy. According to artificial intelligence, this is called a natural spiritual energy leak point. Secondly, there are many civilizations in the universe, and there is a powerful organization called the Council of Stars. From the tone of artificial intelligence, this organization should be very powerful. The support of their Kota in the parliament can be compared with the ownership of a whole planet of life, and it is given together as a condition. Finally, human beings are very suitable to take the road of idealism. Because of being interfered by too much consciousness of the Kota people, they have talents in this area. But there is a difficulty waiting for Chen Mo ahead, that is how to deal with the possible Kota people. As long as we choose to let human beings take this path, then this accident is inevitable. It was even discovered by the Kota people without human beings noticing it. There are also things that may touch the unknown and powerful consciousness. For humans, these things are indescribable and terrifying creatures, and the harm they bring is unpredictable. It might even get Chen Mo into trouble. He never dared to underestimate the ability of human beings to cause trouble. And Miss Heisi is suitable for taking the path of extraordinary body. Of course, her spiritual talent is also quite good. Needless to say, the queen must be the heart of the swarm. Why worry so much about the evolutionary path of many living things? Because Chen Mo wants to be embedded in it while enjoying the benefits of a road. Progenitor cells develop along 3 distinct paths. And he himself will continue to advance on the path of evolution. But humans, Chen Mo was a little hesitant. He didn't know if it was better to let them all turn to the extraordinary form, but after thinking about it carefully, it didn't seem to work. They will also come into contact with psionic energy. As long as someone awakens the psionic talent, their consciousness will become stronger, and then one day they will hook up with the Kota people. It is equivalent to saying that unless human beings are wiped out, they will have to face the Kota people anyway. After learning about the genetic map of the Kota people, Chen Mo is not sure whether the Kota people are extinct. They do look very powerful after all. And it has been a level 3 civilization so long ago. If it has not become extinct after such a long time, it should be very powerful. It is definitely not a good thing to be targeted by a race that was a level 3 civilization billions of years ago. Although the discovery may have many benefits for human beings, it is best not to have this kind of discovery before it is not strong enough. And if I am discovered, then things will definitely be a big deal. He doesn't know whether human beings will die or not, but he is definitely dead anyway. Chen Mo pondered carefully how to avoid this kind of thing. Kill all humans. This matter did not reach the last moment. Chen Mo will not quit his job. He has spent a lot of thought on human beings, and there are also carefully cultivated women among them. Dogs who have been raised for a long time still have feelings, let alone more emotional people. There is still time. There are currently no humans showing signs of advancing to A level. If there are such human beings, Chen Mo can only say sorry. Before solving this problem, he can't popularize psionic organs on human beings. Perhaps the source is still in spiritual energy. Since consciousness can manipulate psionic energy, then psionic energy can also affect consciousness. Psionic consciousness. Chen Mo was a little reconciled, and was thinking carefully whether to study a way to shield the disturbance of human consciousness through psionic organs. Over there, Yinwen Station is already in a mess. A spacecraft, 20 kilometers long, has arrived in lunar orbit. Chen Mo had already discovered the spacecraft when many observers at the astronomical station exclaimed. His remote observation ability is still not as powerful as human astronomical telescopes, and it is a few seconds behind human beings. But what if you found out? There is no way. This is the truth. If the other party doesn't come down, it's Chen Mo, and the other party has nothing to do. This spaceship looks very large, but compared with the previous one, there is still a gap. At least I can understand. Chen Mo murmured. This should be a 2 civilization ship. He has seen spaceships of a level 3 civilization, and studies the internal structure every day, so he is somewhat confident in his guess. However, compared with his calmness, the entire human society has caused an uproar. There was chaos everywhere, and riots started in some places. A vision of the end of the world. Organizations declaring various cults have also begun to come out. My God, there really are aliens. Looking at the picture sent back by the satellite, Lu Ru opened her mouth wide, which is really incredible. However, it was more frightening. She is a scientist, and she knows better what a 20-kilometer spaceship means. The biggest gadget that humans can make at present is only a few hundred meters away from the International Space Station, and it has no flight capability at all. This is an absolute generation gap in technology, and a comprehensive crushing in technology. It's like a primitive man still holding a wooden stick, facing soldiers coming in tanks. The gap is too big to be completely irresistible. Chen Mo can feel the fear of Lu Ru, Ali, and many high-level officials. However, Chen Mo can't do anything about this kind of thing. You can only wait patiently for the opportunity to make a move. This is a major crisis. But for Chen Mo, as long as he hides well enough, it may not be an opportunity. And it's a huge opportunity. At this time, the benefits of hiding in the dark are revealed. At this moment, the surface civilization of this planet is still barely able to reach the level 2 human civilization. Although the special talent of psychic power has been shown, so far, human beings are not a threat to any space civilization. All are still trapped on the surface of the planet. The entire planet, in the eyes of aliens, is not dangerous except for wealth. They don't know that at this moment, a creature comparable to a level 2 civilization has appeared on the planet, lurking secretly, hiding in the cells of various plants and animals. It can even spread, infect, and even control the mind silently. After making up his mind a bit, Chen Mo calmed down and thought carefully about the purpose of this spaceship. Vaguely, he already knew what was going on. This spaceship must have passed by nearby, accidentally received a signal from the Kota spaceship, and rushed over. If it was before, Chen Mo would probably smile indifferently at this time, and the alien would probably ignore the natives here. But now it's different. He already knows that this is a very precious planet. And what about this alien? Chen Mo hopes that the other party does not know this. However, this is highly unlikely. Unless this civilization has no communication with other civilizations, or it is a newly emerging civilization. With a powerful parliament, there should be more or less exchanges between civilizations. It's impossible not to know anything about psionics. Therefore, Chen Mo does not expect the other party to be an interstellar illiterate. Then, the other party may send someone down. If he passes by, he will have a chance. I just hope it's not a robot. Lunar orbit, inside the battleship. I'm rich. Ha 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 ha. Captain Cole jumped up, and then moved around in place and danced again and again. At this moment, all the crew members are still awake, and they are all arranged in the dormant cabin by him. He is on duty, so there is as much laughter as there is. No one will know about this except him. At this moment, he has temporarily put aside the matter of rescuing the Kota people. Finding the spaceship is not as simple as he imagined. It is a large cargo spaceship, but there is no advanced scanning equipment. It is impossible for him to search for 7 or 8 planets seriously. It will take 10 days and a half months. What's even more painful is that the rescue signal was never sent out again. Most likely it's completely cold. But it doesn't matter. This planet is enough to make up for all his losses. Yes, everything. Even, maybe he could earn more than saving that so-called Kota man. After all, whether to give the benefits promised by the other party depends on the other party's mood. But the planet in front of him actually exists. The benefits can be seen and touched. A living planet with psionic powers. The captain saw the psionic radiation value displayed on the detector, and his scalp tingled with excitement. God, I'm not bewitched by the hallucinations of cosmic beings, am I? This planet is so rich. As long as it is reported to the Parliament, he can immediately obtain half of the ownership of this planet. Yes, if it is an ordinary life planet, it is not very valuable, especially in this remote area, far away from the Star Gate, where star robbers are rampant. No one cares at all. But if it is a natural planet with spiritual leakage points, everything will be different. The big forces in the universe will rush to develop it. And he owns a full half of the ownership, which is enough for him to live and drink for the rest of his life, and even his children and grandchildren don't have to worry about it. This adventure is definitely the most correct decision I have made in my life. The captain smiled and turned on the detector at full power. Detecting spiritual energy is an essential function of every spaceship detector. Even if it is a third-hand junk, it also has this ability. Captain Cole carefully observed the detection data. The more he looked at it, the more excited his face became, and his face turned red. There are even 3 springs in this place. Cole rolled his eyes. Good guy, this is simply the Holy Land in Legends of Psychers. Cole has only heard of such a place in Legends. Of course, he himself has only been to the psychic planet once, and that time he took his family on a trip, but it cost him a full year's salary. That place is not a place where the poor can go. Even he, an elite in society, can barely afford the cost of traveling and staying there for a short time. I have to experience it this time. Haha. Cole proudly released the landing ship, ready to go in the direction of the 3 springs. Captain Cole, your behavior at this moment has violated the company's regulations. According to Resolution Number 234 of the Inferior Race Protection Act, if your behavior is found, you will be sentenced to imprisonment ranging from 1 to 1,000 years, or pay the corresponding amount. A fine, the amount is equivalent to multiplying 100 energy crystals by. Please shut up. Cole's face turned cold, and he almost forgot about this annoying guy. He immediately reset the dormancy program to ensure that the crew in the dormancy compartment would not wake up, and then entered the captain's password to put the battleship into manual mode. This rules out most of the impact of AI. This, safe mode, for him will last until he returns to the battleship. What is a mere prison sentence? He will have plenty of money. Just release him on bail. What's more, he didn't say that he would be discovered by the natives below. He would not have direct contact with those monkeys. Start boarding the Luffy boat, let's go. As for why not just drive the spacecraft in? This huge spacecraft is not suitable for entering the interior of the planet. Because the spacecraft itself was built in the space dock, the ability to navigate in the atmosphere was not considered at the beginning, nor was it designed to correspond to the environment inside the planet. And the spacecraft itself is too close to the surface of the planet, affected by its gravity. The internal structure will also suffer some damage, and some junk will even be captured by the planet's gravity. Take off. The junk obviously includes this Tier 2 merchant ship. Crap, that's good for nothing but big. Cole opened the door in disgust and entered the landing ship. Landing ships are slightly more advanced, and are used to explore planets and escape, so they are very fast and have certain stealth capabilities. This kind of spaceship is at the level of the natives of this planet. It is impossible to find out. He drove the spaceship and rushed directly to the Minister of the Atmosphere. I'm coming, he whistled. Spring eyes. When choosing planets in the future, he must choose the half with these 3 stars. This time is equivalent to looking at one's future family property in advance, which is called an exciting mission. Captain Cole was very excited. Before the spacecraft landed, he couldn't wait to turn on the detector. The planet is green and these strange plants are clearly organic. It is a very livable planet, in line with the mainstream. Of course, Chenmo was even more excited. Seeing the small spaceship landing in the basin in a hurry, he almost jumped up with excitement. He doesn't have a body, otherwise he would really dance and celebrate. At the moment the spaceship landed, fate is doomed. The spaceship directly crushed a large piece of mushrooms and landed directly in Chen Mo's original mushroom forest. The blue tail flames ejected dried the whole ground and made it hard and steaming. Chen Mo's heart also boiled. Good guy, it's just a level 2 spaceship, so grand. To be honest, Chen Mo likes it very much. What man doesn't love a steel machine like this? This big guy is definitely one of the coolest toys. At this moment, Chen Mo is no longer satisfied with driving a 1,000-meter giant beast, he just wants the whole flying boat. The one that floats on the moon looks okay too. A full 20 kilometers long spaceship. A perfect masterpiece of steel and technology. It can be seen that it is not a battleship, but Chen Mo is still drooling. Because, this spaceship seems to be delivered to the mouth. After thinking about it for a while, Chen Mo understood, it was the 3 springs, the brightest places on this planet, that attracted him to come here. Calm down. Must wait for an opportunity. Resisting the idea of breaking open the spaceship and entering it immediately, Chen Mo let the little ones leave with a thought. As for the queen, she went to the ground hundreds of meters deep. The underground here, with vertical and horizontal passages, has been built into an underground world by the queen's command and subordinates. Hiding on a big tree, Miss Heisei looked over there secretly. Big man, what's that? She was puzzled. She has learned a lot of knowledge recently, and the big man will also use strange methods to inject much more complicated knowledge into her brain, so her spiritual power and wisdom have increased a lot. But the huge steel monster that arrived suddenly absorbed her knowledge blind spot. That's a good baby. Chen Mo smiled, and asked Miss Heisei to continue to step back. If you want to continue to observe, you can access his consciousness. See it through the mushroom's eyes. For this little guy, Chen Mo still likes it very much, like a cute pet who has been with him all the time. The little fox's nature has not changed at all, he is still so curious. But Chen Mo dare not take the risk of letting it move too close. Although the guys who come out of it may not be able to beat it. Miss Heisei's current level of psychic power is already close to grade A. According to human evaluation standards, she is half as powerful as the most powerful human in the world. Coupled with the advantages in physical fitness, it can be said that in a one-on-one match among human beings, no one is her opponent. Baby, Miss Heisei tilted her head, shaking her flame tail, and looked at the mushroom beside her. She didn't quite understand this statement, but the big man seemed very happy. She can feel it through a trace of connection. At the same time, this connection can also allow it to see the scenery far away. This is the ability of the big man, and the animals around respectfully call him the will of the world. The big guy in the sea called him, divine will. Chen Mo unhurriedly connected the consciousness of several little guys, and carefully observed the spaceship by the way. His neural network now covers the whole world, his consciousness has expanded to a limit, he has extraordinary abilities, and he has gone a step further in telepathy. He has been able to stably control this consciousness access. That is the real realization, the divine will connects us. As long as he is willing, he can link all intelligent creatures into a consciousness network. Of course, this method still needs to be fully popularized by the ancestor cells. With the blessing of spiritual organs, this method is more perfect and reliable. Chen Mo did not use the active detection ability, but only turned on optical detection, psionic detection, and acoustic shock detection, etc. Receive signals passively. Because the other party is a level 2 civilized spaceship after all, if it actively emits signal detection, it may be noticed by the other party immediately, so things will not be beautiful. Detect the composition of the trap, analyze the temperature by spectrum, analyze the overall weight of the spaceship according to the force on the ground, and deduce the possible thrust of the spaceship. There is no psychic energy detected in the spaceship, and the crew of this spaceship probably does not have supernatural powers, strength. Even without the active detection capability, Chen Mo quickly calculated an approximate technological level of the spacecraft based on the various characteristics of the spacecraft. Stronger than humans, much stronger. But it's not the kind that is so strong that it can't be understood at all. In other words, this kind of technology happens to be the kind that humans can learn to imitate. It is more advanced, such as the spaceship under the Arctic ice cap. Even for human beings, it is something that is completely incomprehensible with black eyes. When the technology gap is too great, things look like magic. Just like primitive humans looked at modern guns, they would think that this is a magic wand that can make a loud noise. It only takes one loud bang to curse a person to death. Therefore, technology is not as advanced as possible, but better than yourself, but not so much better. When Chen Mo was thinking about the spaceship carefully. Inside the spaceship, the surrounding water vapor and dust gradually dispersed. Cole also obtained the data sent back by the first-hand detector. A living planet with an oxygen content of about 35%. The main type is carbon-based life with carbon as the key carrier. The harmful components in the air are mild, and the detection of microbial components. Cole looked out the window, walking back and forth anxiously. 0. His spacesuit and probe are all equipped, just waiting for the final result. Finally, the detection is over. The conclusion is that you can go out for activities. All you need is a simple protection against microorganisms. Perfect. What a perfect planet. Cole walked down the elevator slowly, muttering to himself, "This planet is really beautiful. Look at this dome-shaped plant, how beautiful it is. Wow, there is also a house built by the Aboriginals here. It is very small. It should be some kind of small animal, but it should be a smart little guy." Cole turned on the detector on his arm. Immediately, the value of the entire detector was directly pulled to the level of tens of thousands. Almost off the charts. The spring is here. There are 4 flying machines rising beside him, scanning the surroundings, and they are also equipped with energy weapons, which can provide him with security. Cole uses directional detectors to make finer measurements. God, the hair of this animal, as well as the surrounding plants, all contain spiritual energy. This content can almost be used as ore mining. It seems that this planet has many spiritual creatures, but they are obviously not powerful. Even so, he still drew out his weapon cautiously, and at the same time took out 4 armed sentries from the spaceship. These sentries are going to fly farther in the air to make sure he doesn't get attacked by something. At the same time, a powerful sedative was also injected into the body through the flight suit. As a captain, a veteran driver who wanders around the universe, he is very aware of the tricks of some psychers. Sometimes a psyker who doesn't even have a star level can capsize a powerful reinforced warrior. Must be prepared. There are natives around here, so don't worry about it. The powerful sedative can not only suppress the nervous system, reduce mental fluctuations, but also concentrate attention, and most importantly, it can greatly reduce the possibility of being induced and manipulated by mysterious abilities. One is enough. Cole felt that the whole hot and dizzy head calmed down quickly. Originally, he also wanted to inject a focus potion. This drug can inhibit some areas in the brain, further preventing the thoughts from diverging, and at the same time, it will create a great focus on what is currently being done. That is, to focus all your attention on one thing. Using the 2 medicines together can directly strengthen his will through substances, making him as stable as a rock. But when Cole hesitated for a moment, an idea came to his mind. I don't think there's any need for that injection. An incomparable sedative, the effect of this thing has passed and there will be sequelae, and for a whole day, it will lead to inattention and nothing. Forget it, this planet is not dangerous, I was too cautious. Cole couldn't help laughing at himself. Here, Cole carefully detected the situation near the spring. Chen Mo showed a satisfied smile. He's a pretty cautious guy. Fortunately, I am more cautious. Not the slightest carelessness. Of course, with such a huge neural network on the planet, it is impossible for Chen Mo to be careless. The moment the spaceship door opened, Chen Mo had already begun to exert influence on the aliens that appeared. His incomparably huge consciousness is enough to affect the perception, consciousness, and even behavior of other creatures without knowing it. The moment the door was opened, the alien had already fallen into his consciousness trap, but he didn't realize it. The next thing will be easy to handle. That is to wait for the opponent to return to the spaceship. Chen Mo is ready to let nature take its course, everything must look very normal. The place where he really explodes and activates the control should be inside the opponent's spaceship. It doesn't make any sense to control a person alone. At this time, all you have to do is to wait quietly, and don't let the other party notice any abnormalities. L#F equals. These abnormalities naturally also include human actions. This alien is really too careless. He has actually been spotted by humans. This created a little trouble for Chen Mo. According to the normal situation, it is indeed impossible to capture the trajectory of the spacecraft at this level of civilization. But among human beings, especially psychics, Chen Chang has long been strong. Not to mention that the other party is still in the river crab country. 20 There is a small town near here, and half of the people in the town are very wealthy, and they have all been injected with the latest ancestor cells. Some of them have excellent eyesight, and they spotted the spaceship speeding across the sky. And someone's dynamic vision can clearly see the appearance of the spaceship. Ever since, the entire Jingyu town was in trouble. All psychers are organized, and the river crab country, as the only country leading alliance that actually has military power, dispatched flying weapons in an instant. However, Chen Mo also noticed the situation here, and he dispatched all the helicopters searching for this side. Consciously or unintentionally. In short, no one came to bother. This directly led to a large group of scientists who were ready to provide technical support, all dumbfounded. Can only sit and wait. In a large room, someone was nervously circling back and forth. What's going on? Did you read it wrong? Impossible. There were 2 witnesses on the top of the building at that time, it is impossible for them to be wrong. Then why can't find the target, such a big spaceship? The general rubbed his hands together. He was also anxious. The troops brought a large number of people over, but now they really couldn't find anyone. Maybe the other party doesn't want us to find out. Some scientists said, maybe the opponent's technology is very advanced. Another scientist said, it depends on how the other party views our civilization. It's a big problem. Everyone is worried. Lu Ru was naturally also in it. Her expression was solemn, and she didn't know what to do. Human beings have been plagued by disasters recently, and it is hard to see the hope of rising. This time, a big Buddha is crushed from above. 20 kilometers long spaceship. The opponent is obviously much stronger than humans. I hope they can have friendly exchanges. The other party is not for the spring, is it? Some scientists also said nervously. As soon as these words came out, everyone became worried. This, perhaps, is the most valuable thing on the entire planet. What's more, its value cannot be developed by human beings at all. Therefore, this possibility was instantly recognized by all experts. Then we are finished, and all the psionic power will be lost to us in the future. Everyone suddenly lost the idea of finding an alien spacecraft, and became more worried. It's useless to find the other party is here for this precious resource. Regarding this kind of resources, human beings do not know what aliens will do. But people are too clear about what they will do. Directly remove any obstacles, dare to obstruct killing unforgivable. This is the human attitude. To judge others by oneself, everyone's heart is half cold. Teacher, are we finished? Ali has grown a lot now, so she also came here. Maybe there is one last chance. Lu Ru said in a low voice. This time, she herself was a little uncertain. Will the world, can he fight against aliens? The point is, even if it could, so what? With such a huge spaceship in outer space, no creature on the entire planet can rush out. If attacking the landed spacecraft and angering the opponent, then the whole world will really be over. Will it be a dark battleship that continues to come next time? Direct cannon fire to wash the ground. Human beings now have the ability to mass exterminate species. She believes that the aliens will only have stronger abilities. Perhaps, the other party can even blow up the entire planet. After all, according to the evaluation indicators of general interstellar civilizations, a level 2 civilization can utilize the energy of an entire star system. With such a huge power, it is not difficult to destroy a planet. Ali did not hear the teacher's whisper, she sighed sadly. He just awakened the ability, and the progenitor cells in the body have only just mastered it, but he didn't expect to usher in such a thing. If human beings can overcome the difficulties this time, she feels that human beings must study technology well and enter the cosmic age earlier. After all, this feeling is really uncomfortable. Life and death depend on the feelings of others. Just when everyone was anxious, a spaceship rose from the dense forest and instantly accelerated to the second cosmic speed, and soon the spaceship rushed out of the atmosphere. The video of this shocking scene was instantly transmitted to the waiting hall where the experts were waiting. Everyone was stunned. Gone. No, the other party should have obtained what he wanted and went back to the mothership. What comes next is the real test, someone said with a serious face. How will the alien mothership react? Or just leave right away? Or go back and call in more ships? Hopefully they never come back. Everyone prayed secretly. Lu Ru was also thinking silently in her heart. She only hoped that the other party would not come back. But it didn't take long for the crowd to riot. Look, that spaceship is coming down again. Come straight to us. Many people ran out of the room and looked up. Don't fire. Attention all units, do not fire. The commander on the side roared anxiously. Intensive anti-aircraft firepower is deployed around here, even nuclear bombs are erected. But the opponent is just a small spaceship coming over, obviously not for war. At this time, I am afraid that something unexpected will happen. If any soldier gets nervous and launches an attack directly, it will be over. I believe that in any civilization with a normal IQ, this will be regarded as a challenge and a signal for war. However, accidents still happen. Thorn. With a crackling sound, a rocket dragged out a long tail flame and flew directly towards the spaceship. Not good. Someone used a Stinger missile outside. This is a portable shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missile. It can be used by one person. It's the rebels. Find him quickly. Kill him. The general roared angrily. There are many people around here, and the incident happened suddenly. I didn't expect that there were rebels by chance. This gave everyone the hope that had just risen, and poured a basin of cold water. The Stinger missile held a long tail flame, boom. The spaceship didn't dodge or evade. A large piece was directly blown black. Although it was not damaged, it could still be seen that the entire spaceship shook. Obviously, there is absolutely no small shock inside. When everyone saw this scene, felt chills from their foreheads to the soles of their feet. Allie, who ran out excitedly, also froze her expression. She stared blankly at the spaceship and opened her mouth wide in shock. Why attack? It's over. Sure enough, the spaceship stopped moving forward and was suspended in the air. The general almost cried when he saw this scene. What the hell is going on? He feels cold, and he will soon be cold because of this matter, and human beings, I'm afraid they won't last long. Ha ha ha. Hit. Knowing that they couldn't run away, the rebels stood up directly and raised their middle fingers at the psyker who rushed over. Dare to invade my country, dare to overthrow the church of the Lord, this is the punishment of the Lord. This is a natural disaster. The Lord's prophecy is about to be fulfilled, you are ready to bring your arrogance and roll to hell together. The people of the River Crab Country. This is a cult member. In order to carry out the plan of the same Terra and the same alliance, the River Crab Country must adopt some explosive methods in some stubborn areas, which has led to the emergence of many rebels and terrorist attacks. This guy is one of those diehards. He didn't expect that he would seize such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and directly bring a heavy blow to the River Crab Country and the Evil Alliance. No wonder I want to come to this place, this is the hint from the Lord. He has fulfilled what the Lord promised, and he will definitely go to heaven. He can face everything that comes next calmly. Back to the arms of the Lord, to glory. He drew his pistol, his face full of ecstasy. However, the next scene surprised everyone. Boom. With a loud bang, the spaceship accelerated and fell, causing the entire ground to vibrate slightly. The aliens did not leave, did not attack, but continued to land. Laugh. The airlock is raised. The alien spaceship opened its hatch. It didn't reveal any weapons. In the distance, the cult members who laughed maniacally were instantly dumbfounded. Nearby, the scientists who poured out of the room were all in a collective dementia. The general even wiped the sweat from his forehead, feeling like he was alive after a catastrophe. The world seems to have been taken by some unknown force. Saved my life. At this moment, the general was in a trance for a while, and had this wonderful feeling. Not only him, but everyone's heart was suspended, and then fell heavily with the sound of the spaceship. It's like being on a roller coaster. The hatch of the alien spaceship opened, and the elevator descended slowly. Everyone's nerves tensed up again. Are aliens coming out? Negotiation. No, more likely some kind of friendly exchange. Everyone is excited. Is it really going to meet the good guy from the stars? What a cosmic spirit this is. Anxiety and anticipation. Through the network broadcast, the pictures here have also spread to every corner of the world. Everyone is looking at this side. The turmoil has subsided, and everyone knows that peace and hope may be just around the corner. Hold your breath, everyone is waiting. After Chen Mo remotely opened the door of the spaceship, he watched the scene with a smile. Of course he also saw Ali with wide eyes, and Lu Ru with slightly open mouth. At this time, he was already in the spaceship. Not this small one, but the big one. In outer space, a 20-kilometer-long spaceship bridge smashed. In this wonderful way, he has taken a big step towards the universe. Captain Cole, please stop your behavior immediately. You have seriously violated the company's regulations, and at the same time violated the relevant laws of the Federation and the Star Council. You have seriously interfered with the evolution process of low-level civilizations, directly contacted alien intelligent species below the rating, and carried unknown species on the spaceship. This will open you up to serious charges. According to the company's regulations, you will be subject to the most severe punishment, and all your property and private real estate may be taken back. Please pay attention to the warning. At the same time, I have the right to wake up all crew members according to emergency regulations, and your captain position will be deprived soon. X. With a smile on the corner of Cole's mouth, he completely ignored the artificial intelligence's warning, and still operated the battleship without haste. Or rather, it's not Cole, but Chen Mo who doesn't care about AI warnings. He has come up, artificial intelligence is a fart. And this is the lowest level of artificial intelligence, and it doesn't even have the authority to forcibly control the spacecraft. Of course, in most races, artificial intelligence does not have this authority, which is a necessary measure. It would be a fool to relinquish all control to cold machines, intelligent computers with auxiliary functions of advice and warning. This is a very thoughtful measure. The artificial intelligence can only issue a warning, and wake up the rest of the crew, inform the situation, and let them deprive Cole of his power. It itself does not have this ability, and the permissions do not allow it. Chen Mo also knew this, so he was unscrupulous. On this remote waterway, no, it even deviated from the waterway and came to a more remote corner. Do whatever you want. Waking up the rest of the crew just gave Chen Mo a chance to parasitize. So he's not trying to stop AI. At first, the rest of the crew members were still very vigilant, but soon, under the influence of Chen Mo's consciousness, they all met with Cole and were parasitized by the mushroom brought by Cole. Silent parasitism. And very slightly. Chen Mo even held back, did not grow hyphae, and absorbed the other party's genes. Everything is going on in secret. Of course, in fact, he doesn't even need to be parasitic, he can also induce these people. Because the blue planet not far away is enough to make the entire crew betray the company. It's nothing more than a dispute over the distribution of benefits. Evading the artificial intelligence's inspection, quietly spreading to the entire battleship, ensuring that everyone was infected by the progenitor cells, Chen Mo was relieved. Fortunately, I have a certain foundation in the research of carbon-based organisms. Otherwise, there is really no way to infect the other party when the other party injects a large amount of medicine. These crew members, because of their long-term activities in space and contact with different races, have been injected with quite a few types of vaccines. Of course, the necessary genetic enhancement is also available. This makes their immune system surprisingly strong, almost able to resist the invasion of most viruses. Not to mention bigger things like fungi. In fact, this is one of the reasons why contact with lower civilizations is restricted. Viruses or bacteria on higher civilizations are not comparable to those grown in planetary greenhouses. Alien species invasion. We all know the horror. The invasion of alien species is tens of thousands of times more terrifying, and it is likely to directly destroy the ecology of an entire planet. Especially this super bacteria that has been cultivated by countless antibiotics. Bewitch the ship's engineer to go forward directly and force the artificial intelligence offline. At this moment, it's finally time to enjoy the harvest. He has endured for a long time for this plan. So far, Chen Mo has only slightly infected these people, and has not carried out any major actions. Because the speed is too fast, the violent infection may be detected by artificial intelligence. Chen Mo doesn't know the ability of level 2 civilization artificial intelligence, but it's always right to be careful. Until the artificial intelligence is turned off, the artificial intelligence records the observed information, and everything is in line with the behavior characteristics of the crew. But after closing, you can make big moves. With a buzzing sound, a red eye representing artificial intelligence gradually dimmed. A core control chip was pulled out and thrown on the table. The entire bridge suddenly fell silent. Moment. The people who were still excited just now, discussing how to distribute the benefits, all became quiet. It was like a drama. Suddenly there was a click, and was called to pause. Immediately afterwards, many people made unconscious painful sounds, and their cheeks twitched. However, none of them moved, standing erect in place, motionless. If this scene is recorded by artificial intelligence and spread back, it will definitely scare the aliens. It's literally haunted. The entire battleship, everyone, seems to be controlled by an invisible ghost. And if a human, Zhao Laohao, sees it, they will exclaim, "A ghost is on him." This scene was really weird. All the muscles on their faces were twitching more or less. Some skins are relatively delicate, and even red lines can be seen that seem to surge under the skin, but when you look closely, the lines have disappeared. Hehe, it does look a bit scary. If I drive the battleship back like this, I guess there will be a legend about the ghost fleet, right? For convenience, Chen Mo temporarily disconnected their nerves and brains. Then paralyzed their brains with hallucinogens. At this moment, all of them are equivalent to offline. The body is controlled by Chen Mo. The unnatural twitching was weird because Chen Mo was violently drawing some flesh and blood, which would naturally lead to pain. Chen Mo is in a hurry, so he can only work hard for them. But Chen Mo will not kill people. Everyone here will live a good life, brother. They will be of great use. Chen Mo's acquisition of genes is already extremely fast. A few minutes later, the genetic data of all crew members were obtained. This is a brand new race, called the Maluo tribe. Chen Mo uses a large number of sampling and analysis methods, which can obtain more complete information. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of the Maluo tribe, obtained 100% of the genes of the Maluo tribe, you extracted usable genes from it, your genetic structure has been optimized, your metal genes have been enhanced, and your nutrient absorption ability has been enhanced, mycelium nutrient uptake speed plus 0.1. Information: you have obtained 100% genetic map of the Moro tribe, and by analyzing the genes and comparing the nuances of a large number of individuals in the ethnic group, you have found a large number of traces of genetic modification. At the same time, you have a new set of artificially designed immune system with understanding. This helps you build your own immune system, and your resistance in all aspects is enhanced. You have a deeper understanding of the influence of the space environment on your genes. Based on this research, your knowledge of carbon-based biology is plus 100, and your adaptability is plus 5. Information: you have completely analyzed the genetic map of the Moro ethnic group, and one of the interesting implanted genes has aroused your interest. This gene is distributed among all individuals. And they are all late implants. After careful analysis, you find that this gene can effectively amplify the effects of sedatives and similar drugs. At the same time, this gene can greatly inhibit the unconscious disturbance of the complex nervous system, brain. The consciousness is more efficient and concentrated, and at the same time effectively inhibits the spread of consciousness, especially the unconscious disturbance of consciousness in dreams. Hiss. Suppression of disturbances of consciousness through the nervous system. Chen Mo was pleasantly surprised by 8.43 million points. He had thought of many gains, but he had never thought of this point before. Before, I just wondered why the sedatives used by the Maluo people were so strong and in large quantities. Logically speaking, this kind of thing usually has side effects on the nervous system, and it will form dependence if used for a long time, just like the sleeping pills used by humans. What he didn't expect was that the Maluo tribe had targeted and modified their own genes long ago. They are even looking for more powerful consciousness suppression devices. It seems that the problem of consciousness disturbance is a problem in the whole universe. Chen Mo couldn't help thinking. It seems that this universe is not as peaceful as the information I obtained shows. The parliament may be very powerful, but what about the terrifying disturbance of consciousness? Those powerful cosmic creatures, one individual can form a civilization by itself. I'm afraid they are not controlled at all, right? Or, is this the big barrier that the Kota, artificial intelligence mentioned earlier? It seems that all races have an important hurdle in the evolution process. If they don't get through it, they are likely to be extinct. He remembered that the original words of artificial intelligence at that time were, "We will also get our full support, please cherish this opportunity to break through the Big Barrier." Source, Chapter 111. It seems that the universe is full of invisible dangers. Chen Mo couldn't help but shudder. The consciousness disturbance of powerful civilizations or creatures is everywhere, and it is also a terrible disaster in the universe. If you think about it carefully, maybe all civilizations have developed to a certain level, and their consciousness has gradually become stronger. After the development of the brain, they will inadvertently touch the existence of certain taboos, or through the disturbance of consciousness, they have acquired this stage and cannot fully grasp it. Knowledge. Once this happens, there is only a difference between once and countless times. Then there is a high probability that the good luck of this civilization will come to an end. From the emergence of life to the evolution of civilization, every step is so difficult. Especially at this point, almost all civilizations will be stuck here, as if hitting an invisible wall. Caught in some kind of vicious cycle of the advent of evil gods or weird destruction, development, and then continued destruction. This is a previous human conjecture about why the universe is not full of civilizations. Now Chen Mo can confirm that this guess is partly correct. It refers to the Big Barrier. This barrier isolated almost all civilizations below the level 2 civilization, allowing them to fend for themselves on their home planet. Those who can break through are all extremely talented, or lucky enough to explode. There may be more dangers of this kind, and I must be careful. Chen Mo couldn't help but be thankful that he had obtained the information of a mature level 2 civilization in advance, which could avoid stepping on many minefields. With this consciousness disturbance suppression technology, I finally don't have to worry about strange racial consciousness disturbances like Cthulhu or Kota. We can prepare for large-scale popularization of psionic organs. The human race will become a race of all psychers. Take the path explored by the ancient level 3 civilization of Kota. Resisting the urge to transform human beings now, Chen Mo gave Lu Ru a little inspiration in advance and then continued to harvest. The fruits of victory are not just these Maluo people. The rewards are much more than that. You know, this is a cargo spaceship. A full 20 kilometers long cargo spaceship. Such a huge spaceship is enough for Chen Mo to collect for a long time. Just as Chen Mo was searching for the spaceship, on the ground, everyone is puzzled. Yes, all of them. Except CAFD, ignorant children. People all over the world are looking at screens. At the scene where the spaceship landed, everyone started whispering. What's going on? No aliens have come out yet. Yeah, the door has been open for so long, must it be more than 10 minutes? Don't tell me that aliens are snails, just get up and get out now. Someone complained. It's mainly because I'm too nervous, so make fun of it and relax. Lu Ru also had a puzzled look on her face. General, there is no way to wait like this. Send someone over to have a look. She suggested. The general also had this intention, and when he saw that the chief scientist had suggested it, he immediately waved his hand. The team that had been preparing to be on the side walked up. Soon, the team entered the spaceship. Everyone held their breath, then waited for an even more miraculous result. Empty. There are no living things in it. Starting ship, but no living things. A spaceship without aliens. In an instant, this news was reported by the media and spread all over the world. Immediately the whole world boiled. Everyone knows what this means. My God, what the hell are these aliens trying to do? Send the spaceship. The scientists were at a loss. I don't understand what this is doing. Is there really a good man in the universe, a true spirit of the universe? Immediately, the first scientists entered the spacecraft. Then more equipment was shipped over. Soon, the entire area changed drastically. Countless soldiers and psychers surrounded the place impenetrably. No one can get in or out except scientists. My God, Professor Lu, look, this spaceship is too advanced. Holographic image, how did it work? My God, this thing can still perceive my movements. Lu Ru was also shocked by the technology on this spaceship. Although she is engaged in biology, her vision is not bad. Soon, he withdrew without further ado. She decided to reserve the spot for a scientist who was better at it. As long as we have this spaceship as a reference, within a year, our technology will be able to develop by leaps and bounds. Even with the help of spiritual energy, it doesn't need a year. If you are optimistic, it may be a few months, or even shorter time. The scientist's face was full of excitement. Great, with this we won't have any problems inside. The general clapped his hands excitedly. As long as he has this technology in his hands, the River Crab Kingdom will completely take the lead in the Terra Alliance, and all the rest will be suppressed. In the past, the ancestor cells could only be implanted in the body of the Hexi people. Although we have been researching more adaptable varieties, this unfair treatment has caused constant conflicts in various places. If technology can be greatly developed, technology can solve these contradictions. Actually waiting for a while, the same will not cause any problems. On the side, several academic bigwigs laughed one after another. The general looked at Lu Ru in surprise. Has Professor Lu's research progressed? Before Lu Ru could answer, Ali said excitedly. Not only that, but the teacher has made progress in absorbing psychic energy and inspiring talents. We are about to enter an era of psychic energy for all. As soon as these words came out, the general was suddenly ecstatic. It is good. Great. God bless mankind. The black technology developed by Professor Lu alone is equivalent to this spaceship. I suspect that you are an alien, haha. The always serious general couldn't help joking. He couldn't be happier. Fully psychic, can absorb psychic energy, and actively activate talents. This is no less useful than getting an alien spaceship. Lunar orbit, among battleships. All the people are wandering around, they seem to be aimless. If you look closely, their pupils are even lifeless. It gives people a feeling of walking dead, or there is some kind of terrifying existence behind, manipulating all this. Captain Cole sat on the bridge seat and manually called up the spacecraft flight log. Immediately afterwards, there is the star map, and then the guest species data stored on the computer. As long as he could find the information, he dug out all the information. There was a red light in his eyes, and he tirelessly searched and checked every data and information quickly. It will be great when the human-computer interaction interface is developed. Not to mention Captain Cole, even Chen Mo was a little impatient when he saw it. There is simply too much information. All rely on the naked eye to scan, even if it is hundreds of lines per eye, the speed is not much faster. Sitting blankly in front of the light curtain for a whole day, Chen Mo completed the most basic data collection work. But the harvest is indeed rich. A large amount of information has greatly expanded Chen Mo's vision. Information keeps popping up. This feeling made Chen Mo want to stop. He eagerly absorbs knowledge. Hundreds of crew members are also under his control, and all places are being explored. Information. You have studied the structure of the spaceship and sorted out the data in it. You have found some knowledge of the level 2 Moro civilization in it, and you have integrated the useful parts into your own knowledge system, even if it is you also carefully classify and store the parts that are not needed temporarily. Knowledge is always the most precious wealth. Your knowledge has been greatly enriched. Carbon-based creatures plus 500, psionic knowledge plus 10. Information. You discovered a large number of biological agents from the level 2 commercial spaceship of the Moro tribe, some of which deepened your understanding of the suppression of the nervous system by drugs, and at the same time you began to think about the indirect impact of the nervous system on psionic energy. There are various indications that the Moro tribe is moving towards the road of completely suppressing the spiritual energy. They eliminate the spiritual energy gene and carefully plan the gene, just like manufacturing a circuit board. They have a negative attitude towards the divergence and influence of consciousness. This road and idealism is just the opposite, it is a very thorough materialistic road. They will focus on purely mechanical and flesh transformation in order to completely isolate the harm from spiritual energy. Another new path, but not for me. Chen Mo checked carefully, and this path was not marked with evolutionary clues, but displayed in the form of information. This is another path that runs counter to Chen Mo's current evolutionary direction. Chen Mo is born with strong consciousness, and now he can absorb psionic energy, so he will definitely not give up this advantage. However, this does not prevent Chen Mo from absorbing knowledge from it. This path is obviously equally terrifying and powerful in the later stage. Even now, Chen Mo sees many advantages in this path. If it is a new civilization, fully investing in this path may be the fastest way to rise. Chen Mo speculates carefully. First of all, in the entire universe, powerful consciousness is everywhere, but if you don't provoke the other party, it is impossible for the other party to come and step on you, an ant. As long as you can withstand the pressure of the general environment, you can develop peacefully for a period of time. Chen Mo didn't know how long this period of time was. At present, it seems that there is at least no problem with the level 2 civilization. The Moro tribe has completely isolated psychic power and rejected this simple and practical power. The initial combat effectiveness is definitely not as good as that of psychics. But the advantage is that as long as they survive, they can develop slowly, and they don't have to worry about suddenly touching an extremely powerful existence one day. Fortunately, I don't intend to fully parasitize this race. The other party will always modify the gene and reject abnormal changes. Just find a chance to get off the spaceship halfway. Races that have already entered the interstellar world are unlikely to be parasitized. Each race will pay attention to its own genes, unlike humans who have not yet left the planet. It can be said that Chen Mo grew up with the creatures on Terra and is deeply embedded in it, but it is difficult if you want to go to other planets. However, it is not a problem to control some of them. Shaking his head, Chen Mo didn't think about these anymore, and continued to explore the entire spaceship. A cargo box was opened, and there were a lot of frozen creatures inside. Seafood, some kind of organic meat. As long as it is fresh organic matter, Chen Mo likes it. The crew member held out his hand, and mycelium spread out from his fingers. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of an unknown alien creature, obtained 100% of its genes, you extracted usable genes from it, your genetic structure was optimized, your mycelium structure was optimized, and your nutrient absorption ability has been enhanced, your ability to acquire inorganic substances has been enhanced, mycelium nutrient absorption speed plus 0.3. There are more than 100 such huge containers. Calling up the shipping list, Chen Mo absorbed it one by one. Event: you absorbed the flesh and blood of an unknown alien creature and obtained 10% of its genes. You discovered a completely different genetic structure and a new way of replication. This is a new life form. You adjusted accordingly. Part of the genetic structure, your ability to endure extreme environments has been enhanced, your cell strength has been enhanced, your corrosion genes have been enhanced, adaptability +3, risk +1. Brand new species. Chen Mo was stunned, and carefully observed the shipment numbered 0 to 982. The name given above is Kiri, and the animals were purchased from a space station called Scrap Iron by a new zoo in Molo. The Kiri beast is in a living transportation state, but the life form is completely different from what Chen Mo has seen. This strange creature lives in a methane-filled gas. For this brand new species, the absorption efficiency of Chen Mo is surprisingly low. Only 10 can be killed, completely absorbed. Information: you have obtained 100% genetic map of the Kiri beast, and by analyzing the genes, your understanding of the Kiri beast has deepened. Based on this research, your understanding of the branches of organic species and sulfur-based organisms has also been deepened. Basic biological knowledge +1, and the efficiency of its various actions is increased by 1%. I didn't expect that when people were still on Terra, they would already have a genetic map millions of light years away. Chen Mo smiled. This was an unexpected windfall. The ability to get this spaceship already has a lot of luck in it. I didn't expect that there are so many species on the spaceship. No matter it is fresh meat or living body, the gene map can be extracted. Life forms that are completely different from carbon-based life are interesting, and this category can inspire me a lot. Chen Mo carefully checked the genetic map of Kariman, which added more sulfur elements as the basic elemental composition. And carbon-based life uses carbon as the basic element, so the difference is not very big. However, I can still refer to the knowledge in it and try to improve the genetic structure. Sulfur-based organisms have great advantages in absorbing inorganic substances. Chen Mo whispered, and said with certainty. If there are more different kinds of creatures, he will become more powerful, further expanding the range of energy and matter he can obtain. The acquisition of a new species also made Chen Mo very excited. In the entire universe, there are indeed many evolutionary paths. Even life forms will have huge differences. It's wonderful. After absorbing this wave on the spaceship, Chen Mo's adaptability has broken through 140, and other attributes have also increased significantly. To such a degree, it has already touched the edge of cosmic creatures. Evolution clues cosmic creatures. Based on the knowledge reserve of plus 15,000 carbon-based organisms and strong adaptability, you have realized that the cold environment outside the warm planet is not enough to be an obstacle. You try to move on, break through the comfortable environment of the planet, and seek a more in the way of further evolution. You have analyzed a brand new form, which can allow you to break through the limitations of the inherent structure by improving the existing species, and space is right in front of you. It is expected to improve adaptability plus 20 and risk value plus 205. After a week of careful collection, Chenmo finally collected all the information on the entire spaceship. At the same time, he successfully controlled a landing craft, loaded with various technological items, and flew towards Terra. And the cargo spacecraft itself also set sail. However, in the spaceship, except for Cole and the engineer, everyone fell into a dormant state. The entire spaceship was silent. We're screwed. The engineer had a terrified look on his face. There's something. It's inside me. As he spoke, he frightened and flicked out the sharp blade on the mechanical arm, trying to cut the skin. But the sharpness of the blade stung his subcutaneous nerve. He shivered, but didn't dare to make a move. Come on, do you think you can get rid of the other party in this way? Cole smiled disdainfully, like he didn't even bother to try. Ever since he knew the original cause, he immediately surrendered. There was no need to try. That kind of creature, that kind of degree of consciousness control, is simply not something ordinary people like them can compete with. Since the opponent can parasitize and penetrate their proud immune system, then at least level 3 civilization is required to expel the opponent. It's all your fault. Clang. The engineer suddenly stretched out the long mechanical tentacles behind him, and directly lifted Cole up. For your own little benefit, you're killing everyone. Evil God. Do you know? You're letting the evil God keep an eye on us. Woo woo woo. The mechanical engineer slammed Cole hard against the wall, but he himself burst into tears. Scared, he always felt something strange in his body, as if something was slowly wriggling and crawling inside. He felt that his consciousness was blurring, being gradually eroded by some indescribable force. He felt that phantoms were appearing in front of his eyes, and the calm and suppressive ability of the nervous system was effective. Even the electronic eyes seemed to flicker and blur. He didn't know if it was an illusion, but he felt that he would no longer be himself. The feeling made him shudder. Don't cry, okay. Cole got up from the ground with a grin and rubbed his shoulders. He usually has a good relationship with the engineer, and the help of the engineer is indispensable for the next trip. After all, the artificial intelligence is offline. If it were you, you would definitely do the same thing as me. After all, you have also seen that planet. The spiritual power on it is not a little bit of wealth. I didn't know that there were. Forget it, we will just follow the instructions from now on. Become the walking dead, the minion of the evil god. There are no living people on this spaceship. This is a ghost ship. The engineer gritted his teeth angrily. He raised the welding torch in his left hand to his chin. He wanted to give himself a blow, but the scorching flames directly penetrated the entire head, and he died directly. But he took a few deep breaths, finally looked at Cole's teasing eyes, and finally threw the gun to the ground in anger. That's right, it's better to live than to die. Cole sighed, then continued. This lord is not weak. He is estimated to be promoted to a third-level civilization soon. He is a very powerful cosmic creature, and he also occupies such a huge psychic planet. As the advance team for its expansion, only good, no bad. Cole said he was down to business, putting away his cynical expression. You just want to rot in a broken company all your life. Think about the faces of those capitalists. If there are evil gods in the world, I think they meet the standard best. The current situation is actually a once-in-a-lifetime situation. The spaceship is now ours, and the adults even allow us to dispose of the goods in it at will. We drag it to sell, make a lot of money, and then go to the scrap iron port. Isn't it happy? The more Cole said, the more excited he became. My lord is so powerful that he won't treat his hardworking subordinates badly. What we and he basically need are 2 levels of things, without any medical treatment. It's not that Chenmo controlled him to say this. Chenmo could detect that what the other party said was sincere. Meaning fluctuations and nerve signals faithfully reflect the situation. This Cole is good, not looking forward and backward. Chen Mo nodded appreciatively. It's no wonder that the other party dared to take risks to go against the company and deviate from the route to explore. There is an adventurous quality in his bones that is not content to be mediocre. However, he doesn't have the talent to match his ambition. If nothing else, he will be at most an elite individual in a level 2 civilization in his life. It is almost impossible to go further. But now Chen Mo generously gave the other party a chance to become a master in a level 2 civilization, and even hoped to surpass this level and be inferior to a B-level civilization. Seeing Cole talking endlessly, telling the engineer all the beautiful visions he fantasized one by one, the engineer's eyes gradually emitted a light called desire. 0. Chen Mo was very emotional. That's why he was worried about the disturbance of consciousness. A living example is right in front of you. Ordinary flesh and blood are easily tempted. Especially the temptation from a stronger individual. For example, he can easily confuse an elite in a level 2 civilization. Then one can imagine those more powerful existences, such as level 3 extraordinary creatures, or the masters of swarm creatures. Their consciousness is absolutely terrifying. The interference and temptation that can be given are countless times greater than him. But even if they didn't do it intentionally, countless creatures would be bewitched spontaneously, wanting to seek some knowledge from the diffuse consciousness disturbance. The hazards will be very large and cannot be controlled. Therefore, this strengthened Chen Mo's determination to shield consciousness disturbance. Before this step is perfected, Terra's creatures will never take the step of being an A-level psyker. Cole and the engineer finally reached an agreement and chose to surrender to Chen Mo. The huge spaceship restarted, turned, and headed for the scrap iron port. For a second-level civilization, the voyage in the universe is long, and both Cole and the engineer fell into a deep sleep. Sleep, wake up is the beginning of a new era. Cole murmured and slowly closed his eyes. He knew that his destiny had completely changed. The lights inside the spaceship were completely extinguished, only the navigation glow flickered, and the entire spaceship gradually accelerated and drove into the dark depths of the universe. The first seed has already set off. Chen Mo stared at the deep space. At this moment, his safety has been further improved. Even if the entire star system is destroyed, he still has a place to pin his consciousness, and he will not die just like that. It's an insurance policy. After freezing for a while, until the spaceship completely disappeared into the detector organ, Chen Mo turned his gaze back to Terra. At this moment, in Lu Ru's laboratory, a new technology is taking shape. This is faster than analyzing alien technology. She thought it would take a long time, but she had a flash of inspiration, and a brilliant idea came unexpectedly while she was taking a bath. She quickly got up and sorted out the experiment process. A whole new kind of progenitor cell is being cultured. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.